I am sure sports. You know me there, I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Trick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices. Add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
That Sports for the best authentic sportswear. You check Wilton Sports when you want the best authentic sportswear. Wilton Sports. Food change advertise fee. And for roll out the numbers. Remember, no easy laugh, no off.
Some sports were for take notes. Them full of dreams and hopes. Then why them come and sell rope? When there is only one, yeah, there is only one goat. And that's a Wilson, yeah, that's a Wilson, yeah, that's a Wilson Sports. Yeah, ball boots, ball tops, ball shots, string yard, ball socks. Them kind of drip you quick for make your ex call back. Little quickness in my boots and ball out, me want that. My Nike ticky pretty and my Adidas all black. Dribble down your field with grip and feel me can't drop. Slide tackle all my own a team and know this not pop. Why? Because I'm buy the supper.
Yes. Blessings, greetings, one and all. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am Man in This Man. Hope you are having a fantastic start to your morning as we celebrate this new day. It is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. We continue to work hard. We continue to be diligent in fulfilling the heavenly mandate that is on our lives. We're not ordinary people, you know. We're sent here on earth to do something specific because we were made with a purpose in us and we were made for a purpose. And we're going to fight to fulfill that purpose. It means that our desire is that at the end of our lives, we die empty. We use up and tap into every potential. You understand me? That is there to maximize our impact on this earth, that we leave the earth a better place than we found it, that we leave a good legacy of leadership, love, honesty, and integrity for our family members. Yes, man. Yes, indeed. That's what our desire is. That is part of our work and our duty. in this old earth here. Welcome to every one of you who are on the platform. We have a loaded program today. In fact, we have 2 shows that we will be doing. We have this one, which is going to cover a lot of stuff concerning football. And then later this evening, as we begin to look to the Olympics, we will be featuring different Olympians who we expect to medal at the upcoming Olympics in Paris in the summer. And the first one we're going to have the privilege of talking to will be none other than Mr. Jahil Hyde. That will take place this evening somewhere at the 6:30 region there. So make sure that you're back for that one. Today on this show, we're going to discuss the readiness, or how prepared are we for the FIFA World Cup qualifiers for the cycle 2026. That's one thing. We're also going to speak to Mr. Marlon Glean, who is the president of the Grenada Football Association, about an event that is coming up in May. He's going to give us some details on that, and maybe if you're in and around that place, that area, and you can, I think it will be an event that you'd want to be at. So he's going to come and talk to us about that. Then we're going to discuss. So last night, it's kind of very strange because I don't know, people believe that you're listening and hearing them and all kind of stuff, but it was last night. This situation with this player Michael Brown was brought to my attention, and I thought I'd share my opinion on it. I must admit that I don't have all the details, I don't know all the information, but just given what I have heard thus far, I'm going to give some advice and some direction, not for anyone to particular. Is not Michael Brown? That's not his name. I don't even know. I think it is Michael Brown. I don't know. Isn't that the player? I think Michael Brown is the player that played under 20. I believe is Michael Brown. If it's not Michael Brown, tell me. Forbes. Oh, you see it now. You see it. I'll get all them name wrong. So let me change it right now. You see what I mean? So you must know that I am very far off where this is concerned. But Michael Forbes, you see it? So let me edit that right now. You understand me? So you know that I have been out of the scoop where some of these things are concerned. Because one thing I've learned in this space is that there's a limited amount of people who have authentic, genuine respect for you, right? Very few. A lot of them will say, very good things, but deep down, there are very few loyal ones out there. And so because of that, I am very particular in what I hear, what I listen, what I watch, because no matter what, people just always have all of this negative thing that they want to say about you, and you have to live above some of those criticism and above those things. And what you do is that you pay little attention to these things. So let me see if I can edit this so we can get there. We can get it. I'm not sure that I'll be able to edit it right now, but let's see. They're not allowing me to. All right. So let's I don't know. But we're gonna fix it. Let's see if we can go over on the YouTube and fix it. Don't know. Let's see if we can do that. Right. So first, let us get the correct name. It's Michael Forbes. That's what I mean. Forgive me, people. Don't know how Brown came into it. But I do know a Michael Brown. So there's a Michael Forbes. So it may not change where you're at right now, but give it some time and it will change. All right. Big up on yourself, people. All right. So yeah. Think it is. Yeah, my apologies. If you're Michael Brown, if you're Michael Brown, I was not using it for clickbait. It's just an honest mistake. All right. So please pardon me and bear with me. Just a couple of things I want you to do. One, if you're watching for the first time, we appreciate you being a part of the platform. It's good to have you. Being I don't know how you heard about it, but tell the person who told you about it, shared it with you. Thank you for doing so. Right? And you now can now be a part of the platform by hitting the subscribe button, right? For all the regular viewers and listeners. Also, please make sure that you hit that like button and you share the content with others. There are a few other. Listen, I like to think we have to be. I am a Jamaican and I support Jamaican. All right, that's it. Even if I don't watch, I will subscribe. Maybe people don't need a subscription, but listen, we need to support our own. And I realize that in certain cultures, when people have their platforms, they get massive support from their own. So if a Nigerian, for example, has a platform, Nigerians who don't know the person will subscribe because they want to support brand Nigeria. Same things with the Kenyan and the Cameroonians and the Ghanaians and the Guyanese and the people from Trinidad and Tobago and the people from the Bahamas. And I think that is something that we need in our culture. You have queer fashion. We need to support them. We have like Brescia. We need to support them. We need to support brand Jamaica, right? We need to support our own. A lot of us, we buy a lot of American branded items and European branded items, and we don't support our own. So there are a few on the platform so far. I see Jason Guna TV. He has a platform. You can subscribe to it. You understand me? 433 Pressure, which is, we call him 50/50. He has a platform. You can subscribe to it. Your loyalty, while you may know me and I am the person, I am the person that maybe introduce you to YouTube. There are others out there that you may not enjoy what they do, but I'm just saying that because they are Jamaicans, give them some love and give them some support. We would love one day that we can say we have a Jamaican vlogger or podcaster, whatever you want to call them, who did sports, right? And guess what? They got lots of support from Jamaican to the point where there are millions. You understand me? What I love about, what is funny? When I watch like you have all of these stuff that I watch, Popeye's News Link and On the Spot News media, and of course a lot of people watch politics, watch Sir P. Here's what I find: a lot of the people they just subscribe to the platforms. So those guys, their numbers are ridiculous because one person subscribes to this one, they just subscribe to the others. Let us kind of spread it in the area of sport, though we have many disagreements and stuff. All right. I also want to encourage you, please, if you say you and I are friends, and if you say that you and I, we talk and we reason, listen, part of respecting a person is being respectful yourself. You understand me? Yeah. Listen. So let us refrain from being disrespectful. There is no reason, absolutely no reason, in discussing sports, absolutely no reason why a man's wife, kids, personal life, mother or father needs to be mentioned. We don't need to discuss people's educational status. We don't need to preach any sort of violence because it's absolutely unnecessary. And here's why. Oftentimes, the people that we talk about and we discuss, the Manchester United, the Arsenal, the Pep, the Arteta, the Klopp, they don't know you. And I guarantee you, if you're in their space and they said, hey, Klopp, hey, Pep, they probably would not look at you. Yet we fight and we contend over issues surrounding them when they would not stand and fight for us. So I just want to remind you of that. All of us. I want to remind us. All right? All of us of that. All right. Listen, You know that, like I'm gonna give you an example. Do you know that T-Got, T-Got and I are friends, and T-Got has a platform. And you know that T-Got, whenever I have a show and he's available, T-Got comes on and he supports me. And I've never really been on his program, and it is fine. It is fine. Sometimes when Coach Minzy does the shows, I don't get to watch them. I go on afterwards and I click the like and all of those things. Yeah, but that's how it is. Same thing with Unseen. So because at the end of the day, we will only get better if all of us get better together. Let us not leave anyone behind. And we must have absolute respect. The truth is, if you are grown and you have to resort to being disrespectful, I can tell you this. It's not just here, it's who you are. And it is the same attitude you have with everyone you interact with, including family. Because some of these behaviors are not behaviors in isolation. I figure T-Got is here to chat some nonsense about Arsenal and City.
What do you mean? We're gonna get beaten, brother. Yes, man.
Hey, good.
Next season.
It's afternoon where you are. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Good afternoon,
Welcome to I
and
Am Sure
subscribers,
Sports.
and good afternoon,
Yeah,
everybody.
People is in the car because he's at lunch. You understand me? He's not finished work.
That's right. And you come on the right time, so we can get 15 minutes to listen to you, and then we can go back inside.
Go ahead
Right
and talk.
time.
Take your time and talk.
Good afternoon. Why wanna do it? Why wanna do it, man? Why Arsenal battle next league again?
Arsenal. So Liverpool was leading and Arsenal battled the league.
Yeah, because
So Liverpool, I don't understand the reason. So Liverpool is leading the league, but Arsenal battle it.
Yeah.
Explain.
Arsenal battle. Somebody has to battle it, so
I won't interrupt. Explain to me how City has won the league and how Arsenal has battled the league. You talk to the people. I'm going to stay silent.
Trouble Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal battle no team would battle the league because it's very close. You understand? It's not like last season when Arsenal was leading 248 days out of the Premier League and them just end up losing it. This time it's really close, and we're not even sure if Manchester City can win it neither, because any cards can happen and they can lose a match, because sometimes Manchester Pep Ed go and come, and they might put out a team and them lose. So, but one thing, he knows how to finish. That you have to give Pep that. He knows to finish. You understand? So let's say if that luck can follow him. You understand that?
What I'll say to you, do you know that if Arsenal finishes in the top 3 again this season, it still speaks of the rise or the resurgence, right? Resurgence of, watch this, of Arsenal. If Liverpool loses, it speaks to a missing out on a title and maybe struggling to be in this position again, because they have an older team of the 3 teams contending. City, Arsenal and Liverpool, they have an older team in Liverpool and they have a coach who is leaving. All right.
So somebody coming is going to go change up everything, system.
City have a young Holland. They have Guardiola that is young. They have Foden that is young. They have Doku that is young. They have Lewis that is young. So they have a younger team when compared to Liverpool. Arsenal has a way younger team, is in the Champions League, look like they're going to qualify again, so they have the opportunity to improve even more. So to me, in my humble opinion, the team who it is way more important for them to win is Liverpool, especially because Klopp is exiting. I don't think Arsenal have failed if City won the league or if Liverpool won the league.
You see, what did Arsenal, the expectation, you understand, with the young the coach and everything, and they exceed what they're supposed to be doing. It's not the problem, you know. Them just exceeding. That's what you say. Them keep on growing and exceeding, and everybody just expect them to win, but they're not yet on that, that finishing touch. Of that finishing touch to overcome. But as I said, more games are left, and anything can happen. Anything can happen. It's really a close race. But we know that Pep know how to finish, but anything can happen.
Yeah. And I also believe that somebody's saying that Liverpool is not older than City. Really?
No, man. Liverpool have City have a whole for young baller, man. Whole for young baller. Whole for young baller. And people are in the work to replace people and stuff like that. So City have a whole for young baller, man. Pep know what he's doing, you know. So
yeah. So your position is so who you picking to win? City? Because you're a City fan.
More likely. Yeah. I'm a City. I'm one of the bagwagonists that jump on City City trade, you know. You understand? Because them say City don't have no real fans. But I'm one of them that jump on the train. You understand? Back in the days, yeah, me jump on the train very early.
So you have Real Madrid. Big up Coach Freddie Butler in the building. You understand me?
Yeah, tell Freddie. I need why Freddie I gonna kill me, you know, but yeah, Freddie. Big up Freddie. Big up Freddie. Man of integrity and honor. Big up Freddie.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So let me ask you this. City goes up against Real Madrid.
Yes.
3-3 heading into the second leg. Game is being played. Yeah. No, cranky man. Even Alexander Arnold is old. Alisson is old. What are you talking about, cranky? Alexander, not Andrew Robertson, sorry, is old. Yeah. But I think what I mean, maybe in terms of age, you have a younger side. But what I'm saying though, cranky, is this, that I believe that the young stars at City are ahead of the young stars at Liverpool. So if you're and Pep is going to be there, Klopp is leaving. Matip is old. Matip is old, and Matip and Van Dijk are key parts of that team. I don't know. What you feel? How you feel about that?
No, but them say Van Dijk will be leaving too when Pep leaving.
Really?
They were saying that Van Dijk will be leaving too. So they're banking on Van Dijk to stay.
Yeah. So talk to me. How you feeling about Real Madrid Wednesday?
Tomorrow?
Yes.
Tomorrow, easy to love, man. Easy to love. They're coming at their China, so easy to love. They miss out. You understand? They miss out. They miss out from beating us.
You have to explain to me. You can't just put out things like that. When I say easy to love, what are you referring to? Easy to love win for City?
Yes, easy to love, more likely. That's what we're talking about. Easy to love for City.
T-Gat, has City ever given Madrid anything yet? What are you talking about, T-Gat? I think it's a good time for T-Gat to freeze, you know, because I think he just had a brain freeze. You can see City playing a Real Madrid team and talk about easy to love. A team that scored 3 goals on you, and you had to score some exceptional goals to get something out of the game. And you're telling me about easy to love? What is wrong? What is wrong with T-Gat? You have a right for freeze. You have a right for freeze. Oh, jeez. Listen, before I welcome my first caller to the show, I must say this, right? That this caller calls when we discuss in Champions League. So when you call, I'm going to once I introduce you, tell the people who you support. Welcome to the show, caller. What's your name? And who do you support?
50-50.
50-50.
50-50, aka Simon Jordan, you know?
AKA Simon Jordan. Who do you support 50-50?
The great Manchester United.
All right. Go ahead, sir.
Listen.
I give you a drum roll, you know, because I may have to clap you off if you're talking nonsense.
I'm inquiring about the fan camp tomorrow, you know. If you win, still send it. If you lose, still send it. Even that would be even greater, you know, if you lose tomorrow. However, Manning,
yes, sir.
It's going to be it's a tough game for Arsenal tomorrow, still, no. Very tough game for Arsenal tomorrow. But let me get into the City versus Real Madrid game first, right? Last year when Madrid had went down to Man City at the Etihad, Carlo Ancelotti made a grave mistake, right? In benching Rudiger for some reason. I don't know why. Because in the first leg, it was a great matchup between him and Erling Haaland, and I think I wouldn't say he kept Erling Haaland at bay, because I think Haaland in the big games, there's a big accusation against him in terms of him going missing. But I kind of look past it in the sense that because City is such a good team, it's like even if Haaland isn't scoring, then they have the likes of Phil Foden, Bernardo, Kevin De Bruyne. So him can afford to go missing to an extent. In these games though, I've never really seen where he has gotten a big chance and him not scored. You know them way that's not the case. I just think in the big games he's totally out of it in terms of how teams defend against him and defend against Man City to keep Erling Haaland specifically out of the game. So it's not like a Darwin Núñez where he's getting on the end of chances but not finishing them.
Isn't that though? If Darwin Núñez, no matter who he's playing against, can get on the end of chances, and Haaland cannot, isn't that saying that there's something good about Darwin Núñez's game that Haaland don't have yet? Because I don't think like teams are man marking Haaland out of a game. I don't think so.
Yeah, I only said they're man marking him out of a game, but looking at Darwin Núñez, I think he has more to his game as a player compared to the likes of Erling Haaland. And if you look at the Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney, Harry Kane, they have more components to their game, you know, compared to Erling Haaland. No, Erling Haaland might be a better goal scorer, but okay, say that the chances aren't falling to him, or he's not picking up those positions. What can he add to the team in terms of, can he be a player that can drop deep and, you know, really hold up the play? Like one and few instances he can drop deep and use his strength, you know, back to goal, hold up the bar, whatever, and bring people into the game. But it's not like the likes of the Hurricanes of the world and the Ollie Watkins and some of these players. You know what I'm saying?
But listen, you know, let me tell you this. I think though, and this I've seen this in football. Like I don't think Ollie Watkins is a big club player. I think some players, if they move from the level club that they're at and they go up, they are going to struggle. And I feel like Ollie Watkins is one of those players. I think Ollie Watkins would struggle in City, struggle in Arsenal, struggle in Liverpool. I don't think he's good enough to play for those clubs. That's me.
When I say,
and I'm not saying he's not a good player, but I don't think he's a Real Madrid kind of talent, a Barcelona kind of talent. I don't think so. I think Erling Haaland is a big club kind of player.
But Manins, when I say those stuff, people curse me, you know, and people say me deluded and those type of stuff, you know, Manins. That the people them tell me, you know.
So people believe that Ollie Watkins is a Real Madrid kind of talent.
No, maybe not Real Madrid, but they will tell like the Arsenal, United, and
no.
City, and like keep telling people, it's just like Ivan Toney, for example, right? Since Ivan Toney has came back from the suspension due to the betting thing, I see this thing where Sky Sports keep putting Ivan Toney on the forefront as if he's this prolific goal scorer, or is this world-class striker that everyone is going to grab after in the summer. Listen, if the price is right, I believe one of those top 6 clubs will be in for Ivan Toney. But I don't think Ivan Toney season after season is a 20-goal striker that's going to win the Premier League, as well as the same goes for Ali Watkins and many other strikers within the English Premier League. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a Solanke who, this is his best season at Bournemouth. I think he's 26, 27, but it doesn't mean that Solanke is going to move to United and score 20 goals. I mean,
so let me ask you a question. Would you if you had Ali Watkins, would you start him at Manchester United ahead of Holland? That's his name.
Yeah, definitely. He's a quality player, no?
So you're saying that he could play in Manchester United.
Yeah.
Would you start him at Chelsea over Nicholas Jackson?
Definitely. And before you go forward, what Nicholas Jackson did yesterday was a disgrace. Move forward.
Okay. So then you are admitting then that Ali Watkins can play in big teams because Manchester United is a big team, right?
Mm-hmm. No, listen, no.
No, you have to answer that question first. Manchester United is a big team.
Yes. But
so are you saying that Ali Watkins would start in Manchester United?
Yeah, but listen on, man. They said this current United team, he could start into this United team. I do not believe he's a striker going forward that can win us a league title. So in terms
all right,
of
is there a striker? Hold on. Is there a striker in the Premier League that no matter how good the Manchester United team is, they could play in it? Give me the striker in the Premier League.
The only striker I see where no matter if we're at the top could play in the team is the likes of Erling Haaland.
Really? So even the Newcastle striker couldn't fit in your team?
Oh, Issa, sorry, forgive me. He could fit into this United team. I believe Issa could fit into an Arsenal team. He could fit into a Chelsea team. He could fit into a United team, a Spurs team, and more than likely, Erling Haaland was not at City. I believe he could fit into that City team as well. That is a striker, man, who has different facets to his game and components that makes him brilliant in terms of his dribbling ability, his hold-up play, his strength. Manins, that player is a brilliant player, Manins. Remember, if you look at last season, I think he had some injury issues, right? And he had 15 goals in the Premier League. I think across this season he has 20-something goals across the Premier League. This in all competitions, forgive me, despite being injured. You know what I'm saying? And this Newcastle team, they have not been at their best due to the injury issues. So he's a player that I would take over Ali Watkins in this United team as well as Erling Haaland. For as good as Ali Watkins is and the Ivan Tonys of the world, I do not believe they're the type of striker who is going to win a team a Premier League title. But Isak, definitely. But let me go back to the City game, right? He made a mistake in not playing Rudiger in the second leg at the Etihad Stadium. In this game, I think he will correct that by playing Rudiger. In terms of the team that Real Madrid is at this moment in time, I think it is still relatively the same players to an extent compared to last season. However, they have a bit more players available compared to last season. If you look back at that second leg, and this second leg tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? If I was supposed to give a result, I definitely, for some reason, I think Madrid will take this one. You know what I'm saying? I just think with this City team, they've not been the same City, and I know people always say that and City turn around the result and show us different. But I think it's a City team that Madrid can definitely get at. And this City team can get at Madrid as well, but I just think Madrid will get it over the line this time. There will be goals in this game, definitely. But yeah, I think Madrid will get the win tomorrow.
Oh, so you are picking Madrid to win? Oh, yeah, interesting.
No, what? It's nothing against City. It's just me watching City across the season. I think Madrid, seeing them as well, I think they will get the win tomorrow.
Oh, okay. What about Arsenal?
Well, that's the game I'm looking forward to. As I always mention, I watched Bayern in the second leg against Lazio, and I think they were brilliant in terms of how they played against Lazio. And I think the Italian teams, what I don't like about them, they play good football, but this thing where them love to sit back, it doesn't work out. However, honestly, man, I just think Bayern will get the win tomorrow. I think the inexperience of Arsenal on the big stage will really not see them to the semi-final. And if they play like how they play against Bayern, against Aston Villa, they're just not going to win. And I think the thing with Bayern, what's going to also get them over the line is the individual brilliance of the Hurricanes of the world. Leroy Sané, as well as Gnabry.
Gnabry not playing.
Oh, he's injured. Forgive me. And Coleman out as well.
And Alphonso Davies out.
He's out as well. There are a couple injuries, but I think in the left back situation, we have a youth. I don't remember his name, but he can play in that position as well. So I think there are players who can step up.
Okay. All right.
What's your score prediction, though?
My score prediction, I don't know the score, but I know Arsenal winning.
No, man. Come on, man. Every time we can answer a prediction, you say no more the score. Come on, man.
No, but I can tell you that I'm saying Arsenal winning. I don't know the score. I'll do some more breakdown and analyze it a little bit more, and then tomorrow I can give you. No, man. I'll give you the score before the game tomorrow, but I need to analyze some more. I need to talk to Jason Guna for him to give me some stats.
Analyze the game good enough. I'll give him credit for that. Let me just ask you a question, all right?
Who analyzed the game good? Who analyzed the game good?
Jason Guna.
So big up the man.
Yeah, I'm big up in here. So big up Jason Guna. I'm analyze the game good, man.
Okay.
Big up Jason Guna. But hey, man, it's Premier League title, right? You know, you have a couple days to do some reflection. Well, not couple. When you guys play, yesterday or Saturday?
We play on Saturday in the Premier League.
No. So
we played Sunday. We playing Saturday.
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah, today's Tuesday. So you'd have yesterday to reflect. What do you think about the team going forward? How if you win tomorrow or lose tomorrow, how you think that will affect you guys really? Especially so that you win tomorrow, you think that will probably give them enough confidence to get a run of games going in terms of winning.
Listen, here's what happened. I think going into the semifinals of the Champions League in our first time in a long time would be a big victory. I think the two games because whether we play City or Madrid, those will be two good games, and it's playoff games, so possibly it could go in. I think though, if City and Arsenal goes into that semifinal, I think Liverpool, gets a little edge in terms of the Premier League, especially if they get knocked out of Europe, which I think Atalanta is going to knock them out clean. TKO. Double 10 counts.
Trust those Italian teams.
I trust Atalanta. I'm telling you. I don't trust Liverpool defense to go and get a victory over there. I don't trust them to have a clean sheet, and therefore they're going to have to score like 6.
Listen, I've seen this Liverpool team. They've made some good comebacks across Europe over the years,
All right, so we'll see.
It's not the same Liverpool team, but as I say, we'll see.
We'll see
what the future is. But I believe if City and Arsenal play in the semi-final, the Premier League is going to be really interesting, man.
All right. Big up 50-50. Thanks.
And sending the fan cam tomorrow. I'm going to link you about it.
All right, boss, man. Yeah, man. Cool. All right, that was 50-50. You understand me? Big up as usual for the call. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we're supposed to have Marlon Glean that's joining us, right? So let me just get into this. So Michael Forbes, I think I originally had the name. So I'm going to tell you what I have heard and what I know. All right. So apparently this player is Coach Anderson, who was at, I think, Holy Trinity, went to Heidel. Mr. Walton Small was at Wolmer's. Walton Small and Speed and all of these people have their contacts. And I think a guy named Robinson that was at Wolmer's, they're at Heidel. So you suspect that there is some connection between Cavaliers now and Heidel, because even the Cavaliers coach was working down there. Everdeen Scarlett, I believe his name is. So you see, when you start having these things, you know that there is some legitimacy to certain claims. All right. I don't know how the movement of the player goes, but I run a club. All right. This is something without getting into all the details. So I had a player Because my club normally, the club that I operate, is a lot of players move to good clubs or to colleges because I get young kids and just run like long programs with them, knowing that you're going to have defeats, but if you keep on building them, they're going to get better. And what ends up happening sometimes, especially during the pandemic, you'll end up losing a lot of players and not getting anything, do you invest a lot. So football is a very tricky business in Jamaica. When it comes on to transfer, one of the things that I know generally happens is that when you want a player to be transferred, when you get the transfer form, a lot of clubs, they sign and date the forms when they want to transfer the player. They don't fill out, and I'm going to be honest, if you're not somebody like management, or you don't have like a good executive board with person with good penship, a lot of the people don't fill out the forms, they just sign it because they don't want to write wrong information on it. So a person will sign a form. This is what I know because I've had that. I've sent forms to people say, okay, I want this player say wants to come to my club. And them just sign it and they expect me to put in all the information concerning the player because the player will be around my club. So it is not a uncommon thing for you to send the 2 sheets of the form and the person just sign the relevant part, especially when they're vexed, because if them vex, them just say, yo, make him go on, when I go on, them just sign the form. All right? So those things they happen in the football and they need to be dealt with. Now they have a comment system. All right? So now, the next thing is that not all the teams have their own administrator to put things on the commit system. So a lot of the teams get players and information added to the commit system through the president of the FAs. Right? So let me say that, right? So, like for me, give me a sec, people. I think my guest's trying to get on. See if I can help him and see if I can. Hold on a sec, people. Yeah. All right. So let me get back, right? So it's not uncommon for those things to happen, which is part of the problem with the football in Jamaica. I recently, for example, I'm different, I fill out information because you can't put your signature on something and don't know what the rest of the information is going to be. All right. So I have a situation recently with a club where they wanted a player from my club. There was an amount that was negotiated for the player. All right. They said, listen, we are going to pay you. I said to a particular FA president, listen, you are the one who puts the information on the comment because I wasn't planning on being in football. So listen, you can upload the player's information on the comment once they pay the money. I will call you and tell you when when the money has been paid, and then you put it on the comment because you have the information so the player can play. All right? This person put the person information on the comment when I didn't give them any information, and the person played for the club. Now, really and truly, I could have, because I was so smart, or I was thinking, because I know how the football operate, that I recorded the conversation that I was having with the person and their response in the conversation. And I kept it because I just know that sometimes this person operates without care. The player actually played in the Premier League and they have not paid me. No, it's fine because it's not even like a whole heap of money, but it's fine. And these things happen because people believe they can get around all the systems in the football. I have a next example of a player who get international clearance, a player from my club, who I don't know how, but somebody in Jamaica would have given the player international clearance because the player is with an MLS2 club playing from my club, and I've never signed or given permission for anything. Never. But they got clearance from Jamaica because a player you can't play in the league in Jamaica at any point and play overseas without getting clearance to play. So sometimes the system is not clean. The system is not clean, and it creates all kind of issues. And a lot of this, I think, is facilitated by the administrators in the parishes. So, like, for me, it never really mattered to me because I knew, that if you said, listen, I'm going to write to FIFA, I'm going to write to this, I'm going to write to MLS or USL or whatever, what would happen is that, you know how Jamaicans are. The player would feel like I am trying to fight them. And so I felt like, listen, truth is a youth that we have help. But so let him just go on and play because I don't have a problem with him playing, but things must be done right. Because if this club sell the player for $30 million, say that happens, I don't benefit, though our club invested a lot in him. And here is a problem with football in Jamaica. And I will say this. I've come across so many players. You see, once they're going to get big, they forget the people who help them in their growth and their development. And this is not a joke matter. Most of these footballers in Jamaica, you see, once they realize them are go foreign, go play ball, they forgot the club in the community that helped them. They forget the youth club. They forget the coach who used to coach them at primary school. They forget all of those things. And all of a sudden, they just pop up and nobody helped them. That is part of the issue with some of these young people. Once they realize them will get some money on them boss, nobody has never helped them with anything in them life. And them alone do this. That's one of the things I appreciate with track and field. Because it's when you talk to track and field people, even the ones who are top, you talk to Usain Bolt, he goes back and tell you about him early coaches. You talk to Shelley, you talk to all of these guys. You see, when you talk to the footballer them, nobody never helped them yet. No coach never helped them. No club never helped them. Them community never helped them yet. Everybody in football has been trying to kill them. And that is why they are big now. And I think the system need to clean up so that some of these things don't happen. I am telling you, you talk to the footballers and hear how many of them, hear How many of these footballers go back and say, listen, I have to big up this coach when I was in primary school. Me have to big up my little corner league team because a corner league me used to play. Me have to big up my little community team because I guess I start play under 12 and play some ball. They completely forget all of those things. And listen, like nothing is to generalize is to tell general lies. So let me just clarify, because some of you understand how Jamaican talk. It's not true for all. It's not true for all, but I am telling you, I can tell you that our system has helped many players. And while them come back on the meal and then we talk and say big up, I'm telling you, so many of them forget who used to help them. And I'm not talking about even the big clubs. I'm talking about some people in primary schools. Your primary school PE teacher, the under 12 coach. Those people used to help you. The people them from your community. Yeah. People, listen. Let me say it again. I am not advocating for people. I don't care. I don't like me. I don't want, I'm telling you, the amount of players that I have playing for clubs, that if I were a difficult person, I would put pressure on them. I don't. So here's what I'm saying to you. You cannot forget the people who help you. I'm not asking you to give them anything. But none of us got where we are, especially people in sport, without the help of people. Some of us can see our fathers. But some of us grew up in prep school systems, primary school systems, parish systems, community systems that helped in our development. All I am saying is that you can acknowledge those people and don't pretend like you got where you are by yourself. However you want to interpret that, you can interpret it. However you want to rephrase it, you can rephrase it. I don't care about who get money. I'm talking about showing gratitude for where you are coming from and who helped you along the pathway. That's what I'm talking about. I don't care about money. I'm not here to defend who's supposed to get money and who is not supposed to get money. When I listen to people do interview, when I listen to Saka talk about his Arsenal, he spoke from the first person who saw his talent. A lot of people have been helped. So if you want to take that and say that money is money, saying that everybody must get money, you can go. I did not mention anything about money. I'm not speaking in isolation. Just the footballers. And I'm asking you who are addressing this thing, go and talk to the people. Now, do they have to do it? No. Nobody have to say thank you. Nobody in the world has to say thank you. How great society would be. Because I'm not telling the people are obligated to say thank you. But my God, man, nobody's supposed to say thank you for anything in the world. Is that real, people? Let us be reasonable in our reasoning. Let us be reasonable. Don't try to defend. We are having a discussion. We are not defending. We're not here to defend Michael Forbes or to prosecute Michael Forbes. We are here to speak in general terms. That in general terms, people need to show and express gratitude to people who have helped them in life. It's just a principle that governs decent, upright living in life. If you oppose to that, then that is fine. That's cool. And we can leave it at that. But we're going to come back to this because we have our very distinguished guest from Grenada. And don't worry, people. Maybe I should flip this around because I know that he has been trying to get his Apple gadget to work over there, but it's not working. So I figure that he's using a phone. Yeah, but welcome, Mr. Glean. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. Good. It's afternoon in Grenada, afternoon in Jamaica. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir, and afternoon to all your listeners, viewers, and thank you for having me again.
Always a pleasure having you on, man. Always a pleasure just interacting with you. I saw someone from Trinidad and Tobago. He was earlier in the chat, and he's saying that when he saw the title Marlon Glean Grenada FA joined, he says, "Grenada, be careful. Are you playing Trinidad and Tobago soon?"
Yeah, we played Trinidad in our first match in World Cup qualifying on June 5th.
Oh, you guys are in the same group?
Same group. We played Trinidad on the 5th of June and then Costa Rica on the 9th of June.
Which one is in Grenada? Trinidad?
Costa Rica. Trinidad and Trinidad, Costa Rica and Grenada.
Oh, okay. All right, all right. Do you know that I have there's a player in Spain. I don't know if anybody has reached out to you that can play for Grenada at the youth level and wanted to get in touch. Has anyone passed on the information?
I was just speaking with Andre right before I got on it.
Andre, you spoke to him?
Yeah, about 5 minutes ago, and he was saying.
Okay. So you got the information.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so listen, how preparation for that going? You looking forward to Trinidad?
Yeah, it's always, we've always had a good draw with Trinidad, dating as far back as I can remember. If you remember the inaugural first Caribbean Cup, it was a Trinidad-Grenada final where Trinidad came back to beat us 2-1 with Dwight York free kick in Barbados, and that was in 1989. Since then, we've always had a lot of back and forth with Trinidad. It's always a rivalry in its true sense, in terms of results, etc. So there's always a good match whenever Grenada plays Trinidad.
Yeah, and it's an easy flight, less than an hour.
Yeah, it's only 30 minutes away.
Yes. All right, but before you get to that World Cup qualifiers, you have a major thing. You celebrate 100 years of the FA. Talk to us about that and what is happening. What are some of the events that you will be having in celebrating 100 years?
Yeah, so this year we celebrate 100 years, as you mentioned, but also our country, our state is celebrating 50 years of independence. So it's a joint celebration this year. And we turned,
because you had Carifta as well as part of that.
We also had Carifta games, yeah. And while we turned 100 in January, the first quarter of the year was saturated with independence events, etc. There was a massive independence celebration in February 7th. So we kind of had to delay our celebrations with the football. So we're planning to kick it off on May 5th with the International Legends match, Caribbean against the rest of the world. Thereafter, we plan to do some stuff for, our ex-national players and some of the individuals who have contributed to football over the last 100 years. Then we're going to do some stuff with some of our youth national teams, etc. But our first event would be May 5th, where we have Caribbean legends versus the world. We have legends coming from Africa. Emmanuel Adebayo, El Hadj Diouf, JJ Okocha, Alisson from Senegal, Anthony Bafo from Ghana. We're still waiting on some finalizing a few. Michael Essien.
Alex Song.
Alex Song is already confirmed from Cameroon. Asamoah Gyan from
Ghana.
From Ghana. And then we have, Dwayne De Rosario from Canada. Mexico, the Mexico FA is sending us two of the top legends, Luis Hernandez and Jared Bogatti. US
Oh, but
soccer,
that
US soccer is sending
Drogba
over.
is coming as well.
We haven't confirmed Drogba. We've had conversations, but I think for Drogba is trying to clear his calendar, so he hasn't cancelled, but
I think you got a call, so your volume is gone. I'm not Marla. I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing you. Not hearing you. Yeah, there you
wait,
go.
sorry, a call was coming in.
Yeah, you're
From
saying that
the
Drogba
Caribbean.
his calendar. You're a Drogba on his calendar. That's where you were.
Yeah, so Drogba, we're still trying to see if he can make it down. So it's not totally lost yet. We're still hopeful that we can he can find some time to come down. He's committed on many occasions that he was going to come. So we're hopeful that at some point within the next couple of days or so we can get some word from him saying that he can make it.
You
From the
said you, and then
Caribbean,
you're at USA.
USA, we have Kobe Jones. US Soccer is sending over Kobe Jones. So we have Canada, USA, Mexico. And then the Caribbean, we have Shaka Hislop from Trinidad, Russell Latapi from Trinidad, Kenwin Jones from Trinidad, Brent Sancho from Trinidad. From Barbados, we have Lalo Goodrich, the first Barbadian player to play, a homegrown player to play in the UK. Norman Ford, who captained Barbados when I played. Norman was the captain of Barbados national team. From St. Kitts, we have Atiba Harris, who is the president of the association, but also played in Major League Soccer. And Yellowman, I don't remember his name, but he was one of the outstanding players for St. Kitts when I played. From St. Lucia, we have Earl Jean, who played a bunch of countries around the world, but is most known for when he played in Trinidad. And then in Jamaica, Ricardo Bibi Gardner, Freddie Butler, P.B. Goodison. And then we have some outstanding individuals that we're working with to try to get them in. And then we have the Grenadians, Jason Roberts, Shari Joseph, and some of the local boys here, Anthony Modeste, who played at
Yeah.
Portsmouth, Patty Modeste, the brother of Anthony, who also played on the national team for a number of years. So we
Hold on
don't
here,
have.
Marlon Glean.
Yeah, Marlon Glean is gonna sit out that one. Marlon Glean is gonna sit out that one. Let our guests get a chance to play and enjoy themselves. It's gonna be a good one. We have about 30 legends coming in for the match, and we
and,
expect
and that will be the only event, or there'll be other stuff happening around the game, like entertainment that people can look forward to enjoying and stuff, because it sounds like it's going to be a family atmosphere, seeing that it's legend there. So what
Yeah,
are some
well,
of
we
the other
call it
things?
we call it Legends Weekend. When the legends are here, we expect them to engage with our grassroots program. We have a national grassroots program that's ongoing. So we expect them to engage with the grassroots program. We also expect that they'll meet like all the schools' football teams, secondary school and primary school. There's a reception for all the legends with government officials, sponsors, etc. And then on the day, there are two matches. The first match we have a celebrity team against an ex-national team. So we have some of our popular individuals, soca artists, etc., government officials, who would play in the first match. And then the second match is going to be,
I
Caribbean.
saw Dexter Dubs, who is a Jamaican, on the flyer.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
is he going to be playing football?
We expect Dexter to be playing. Bibi,
Okay.
Bibi and Freddie is supposed to be bringing along Dexter with them. So we expect Dexter to come in to play. People have been asking in Grenada, can Dexter play football? But I remember Dexter playing football in New York back in the days. So I know he can play. And you guys who have better memory should know him from high school football in Jamaica. But
Okay, boy, people are saying that no invitation for the universe boss and Mannings, man.
You know, we need management to send in his soccer, his football resume,
Credentials.
uh, and see if he can make the cut. But we expect to grow this into an annual event.
Awesome.
Right now, we even turning back players. You know,
Because
we
people are
spoke with
asking about Ricardo Fuller, Paulo One Chop, you know. Yeah.
Ricardo Fuller. Somebody said I was going to reach out to him. We haven't heard back, but he was someone. I played against Ricardo Fuller, so he was one that we actually thought about when we were planning this. But we still players are still coming in. Dwayne De Rosario just called us out of the blue a couple days ago and said he's hearing about this and he wants to participate in it.
Nice.
So
Nice. 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 That is awesome. That is awesome. And there's an entry fee for people to come on in and enjoy the day, right? Are there special packages for people who may want to fly from the other Caribbean countries to is there a package where they can probably stay at one of the hotels, local hotels there where they're coming to Grenada for the first time for this event to
yeah.
support the nation? How
Yeah. We work. As a matter of fact, we've been getting calls from everywhere, especially in the diaspora. I have so many Jamaicans, Trinidadians contacting me from New York, from Canada, from London, that wants to come in and be part of it. Remember, this is probably the biggest. I don't think there's ever been a Legends match at that magnitude in the region in the past.
yeah.
From time to time, we've had legends in the Caribbean. We've had one or two or three in different countries. But a match where we have 30 legends coming in to play, I don't think we've had that in the region before. So we have a lot of people. A matter of fact, I just got a text from someone from the PFA, Professional Football Association in England, who we've been working with, that is getting us Glenn Johnson. They're waiting on him to
Whoa.
confirm, and then they just offered us Terry Sheringham and Frank Zola.
Whoa.
I just got a text while I was trying to log in and asked me if we were interested in Suriname and Zola, and I said to him, yes, we'll have them. So
Nice.
names are still coming in, and we haven't even touched the Brazilians and Argentinians yet.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Diego Forlan was on it as well. I saw his. Was it Diego Forlan that I
no,
saw?
that was Luis Hernandez from Mexico
Oh,
on
Luis
flight.
Hernandez.
Yeah,
Whoa,
yeah.
whoa, whoa. Yeah.
But we know there were a number of Kaka said he was interested, but we haven't had the conversations since. But Kaka was interested. So we were talking. We spoke with a number of South Americans. But we'll see what happens and try to finalize this before the week is over.
Yeah. I mean, so like I said, I don't know if anything like this has ever happened in the Caribbean, right? And stuff. What about coverage of it? Because I see one person asking if there will be any streaming of this.
Yeah, we probably do a streaming on our website, on the FA's website. That is to be confirmed. But also, we know Sportsmax had some interest in it, but I'm not sure where we are with the discussion with Sportsmax. We had some conversations with them when they were down here for Carifta. Um, but I think we need to re-engage Sportsmax to see if I know Flo was interested at some point also. But we may stream it from if we get the funds to do it. We may stream it live from here from the FA's office, um, so that everybody across the world can
World
have
can see
it.
because I think it is big, especially because you're going to do it yearly. I think it would be good to just have people see what is happening. I mean, I look at the Carifta and I thought that was tremendous support that was in there. So I can just imagine, something like this where you can attract so many other persons from the Caribbean. And I know even though Dexter Dobbs, he's going to play a good footballer. I know that entertainment package, probably value that he will also bring as well, would also be good for it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think
The
this.
day, and also the day before the match is our launch, carnival launch. Our carnival is August, the second week in August, second Monday and Tuesday in August. But the actual launch of the celebration starts the day before the match, which is Saturday, the 4th of May. So that weekend is going to be packed with activities in Grenada, and we're going to culminate with the Legends match on on the 5th of May at 6:30 p.m.
Yeah, but you know that Freddie Butler can't move though.
Freddie says he's playing. Freddie's training right now. I spoke with Freddie this morning and he was training. So he's gonna make an appearance.
Ah,
He's gonna make an
good.
appearance.
Yeah, he's going to make an appearance.
Freddie said he's dropped a lot of pounds since we last saw him in Dallas. So we'll see
What?
what he's we'll see what he looks like.
pound, pound, pound sterling, not pounds in terms of.
The man says he's been dropping the pounds over the last couple of weeks. So we'll
He
see.
probably, you know
We'll
what I
see.
think? He probably betted some Arsenal game and lost. That is the pounds that he drew. But I think this is a tremendous thing.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we want to keep that appetite. You know, I was engaging with some of the folks in that's coming from the African Legends team. And one of the guys highlighted we should probably do next a conference, a world conference on football in Grenada that we'll try to see if we can put on next year and bring the biggest stakeholders, you know, the owners of the presidents of the Real Madrid and PSG, etc., major sponsors and major footballers, the Drogba, etc., and have a sit down and let's talk football in the Caribbean.
Samuel Eto'o.
We'll see as to who we can get on the panel and talk for over 2 days, 3 days, talk about world football and how does the Caribbean find its space within world football. You know, Grenada is going to lead this, and we're going to continue to push for the development of the game in the Caribbean. And we cannot sit here and continue to lag behind the rest of the world in football. As a region, the Caribbean is struggling, and we have to be able to step up and take our place in world football. Otherwise, you know, we're going to continue to have one guy leaving every 5 years and think that is success. We need to have more teams playing at World Cups, whether it's men, women, boys or girls. We need to have more players showing up and playing in Europe, etc. We have the talent. If we can do what we do in track and field with the Jamaicans and the Grenadians and the Trinidadians, we can do it on the world stage. Why we cannot do it in football? So we're gonna put if the Caribbean or CONCACAF doesn't want to lead, we're gonna step up and take charge, and we're going to show that a small island like us can embrace everybody else and lift everybody else together. So we need to showcase. You know, we haven't done anything for our legends in the region. Everywhere in the world has a legends team. CAF has a legends team. FIFA has a legends team that goes around Africa and other events, and they participate. They come together. They enjoy one another. I was in Ivory Coast at the African Nations Cup recently, and that's where I sat down and spoke with all these legends and asked them to come to Grenada, because there was a group of guys who played against each other, played together, and stayed in touch with each other. Now in the Caribbean, we have nothing like a legends group. You don't even if you ask a young footballer today, who's Dwight York or who's Ricardo Fuller or who's Ricardo Gardner, I'm sure they don't know, because these guys disappeared and that's the end of it. So what we're trying to do is not just bring legends here for legends' sake, but we want to create that camaraderie. We want to create that relationship. So, you know, Modest can meet up with BB and BB can meet up with Stern John and they can talk about what happened in the past when we played in Caribbean Cup football, etc. And keep the communication, keep the relationships through one another. They can get licenses together at UEFA, etc. They can share information as to what's happening in world football, and together we have a proper group of former national team players that can network and support each other. And in the end, the football is going to benefit in the respective countries.
Listen, man, this is like awesome stuff just to hear. And I would say I don't know, because there has been a lot of changes in terms of the leadership of the different islands, because there have been a lot of elections across the Caribbean, probably around 4 or 5 presidents. I know Trinidad just had theirs. No, St. Lucia, I think St. Kitts, a few of them. So maybe this is the right time to kind of tap into all of this and, like I said, bring back the the Caribbean back to that space. And I know the last time you were here, which is what one of the things that you had suggested is getting other Caribbean countries on board with the flight logistics of the different national team, especially have World Cup qualifiers coming up now. And already you have to go where Trinidad. Well, Trinidad is close, but you probably have a next country that you're going to have to fly to at some point. And advancing from there, you have other flights that you have to make. You have under 20s that are coming up. You have the under 17s. Sorry, that's coming up. So all of those things, have you made any progress where that is concerned? As we welcome my co-host Stan Cranky. He's here. You met him. I think he was in Dallas with us as well. So yeah. But any progress made on that, and then I'll allow him to come in.
Not much. We've been having some disjointed communication. The problem we have in the region is everybody wants to do their own thing, and it's sad. But we need to start talking the same talk. Working together, and together we can achieve certain things. Fortunately, we only have to go to Trinidad this round. But once Nations League start again in September, October, November, everybody's going to be scrambling for flights, etc. All the presidents are going to be at the FIFA Congress in May, and that's where everybody comes together. And I'm hopeful that there can be some informal meetings to continue to discuss the issues to flights in the region. But so far we haven't made much progress. But as I said before, the only way we can do this and do it well is if we come together and share our resources. That'll benefit the group rather than benefiting one country over the next. So I'm hopeful. I'm still very hopeful that we'll have communications. I mean, St. Kitts' first match is in Costa Rica, so I'm sure they're going to be paying an arm and a leg to get there. And some of the other countries have matches in some distant places, especially in Central America.
Yeah.
So
All right.
I'm hopeful that we can work something out. At least if it doesn't happen for June, then at least for September, October, November, when
the Nations League
restarts. Then.
Yeah. All right. Cranky's here. Cranky, welcome. Good afternoon.
Hey, Marlon, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm good. I think I'm something of an adopted Grenadian, but I kind of gave up my card after a while. Marlon talked about the rivalry between Trinidad and Grenada. I'm gonna give you a little short, quick story. I played for a Grenadian team for years, and they had a game against Trinidad here in New York, and they decided to bench me because they didn't want any non-Grenadian to play against Trinidad. They said Trinidad got beaten by the non-Grenadian their team. And when they were losing, they put me on with 15 minutes remaining. That's all I say about that. But
did you lose worse, Marlon?
No. but Marlon, I think what you're alluding to in a sense, but not saying. So I'll say, no, I'll make an observation, which is, I think the region needs new leadership in a lot of different administration and leadership with vision. And so the question, people like yourselves who are new to the role, new to the region in terms of managing and administration, how does one leverage some of the things that you're thinking about, which are pretty holistic, pretty gold-blooded in their thinking, pretty visionary in the thinking? How do you leverage that and engage the leadership in the Caribbean to let them realize, one, the potential they have for significant changes in football in the region, and leverage the collective power, because it's a lot of votes that can be utilized to influence in the FIFA environment?
I think the starting point is understanding our worth. I don't think we understand it. I believe we just there and we happy to be there. So we happy to be in the room. We happy to be toasting at the opening of a major event or the launching of a major event at some of these world and regional activities. I think for a lot of us, we just happy to be in the room. But the question is, once you get in the room, what happens? And I don't think we do enough when we get in those rooms. I think we're just happy for a photo up and a shake hand, and we think we belong. But if you look around, a lot of times I say, hey, look around the room, and how many of us are in the room? And the only reason we're in the room sometimes is because by default, we're presidents, so we have to be in the room. But where are the rest of us? For example, where are our legends? We go to all these events and you see legends from Africa, Europe, and in most of the times you never see legends from the Caribbean. And why? These players played at the same leagues. Some of these players were outstanding in these same leagues, but they do not participate in any of these events because we do not say anything. We're happy to go there and take a picture with Drogba and take a picture. But where is Bibi? Where is Latapi? Where is Dwight York? We don't see them. So I think the issue we have most of the time is that we're just comfortable being there. For me, I think we're bigger than that. I don't think being in the room is sufficient for me. I think we need to show that we're valuable, are we valued? And hence the reason why I speak. When I speak, I'm only responsible to the Grenada Football Association and its affiliates. So I'm not scared of any other higher authority sanctioning me for representing my people and their cause. Because whatever I do is because the affiliates and the people in my country wants me to do these things. They don't want us to just be a participant. They want us to compete. They want us to be outstanding, not just being relevant for the needs of other higher entities, etc. So I think it's time we stop just being participants and being present, but we need to show that we have some value. As I said, the value is in the numbers. But if we do not come together, then we valueless. And that's what we've been doing for the last couple of years. Everybody's doing their own thing by themselves.
Yeah, but the challenge, Marlon, as you know, actually, is these are smaller countries, right? Small populations. And therefore, you're less effective if you go individually versus a collective. So, how does Marlon influence that change in thought process?
Well, we have to keep talking. I talk to them all the time. I've heard that within that same group, I've heard that I'm anti-CONCACAF when I raise certain things that affect the Caribbean. I would not be anti-parent body. I've never professed. I've never mentioned that. But if I see certain things that affect the region, and I am about the Caribbean. I'm a Caribbean person as much as I'm Grenadian. I'm Caribbean. So whenever I speak, whenever I see certain things happening that affects the Caribbean negatively, I want to speak on it. And if by speaking on it, individuals think that I'm anti CONCACAF, FIFA, CFU, or whoever it is, then I'm not going to be too concerned. If my affiliates have an issue with me, then I'll be concerned. But if I'm speaking certain things that I'm seeing that are negatively affecting Grenada or the Caribbean, I'm going to continue to speak on it. So I'm going to continue to advocate. I'm going to continue to speak with my colleagues, and hopefully everybody understands their value. I think the biggest challenge is that we just don't understand our value.
Right. But can Marlon effect change if he doesn't get the region behind him?
I don't think
for
so.
example,
I don't think so. I don't think being by myself, doing whatever I'm doing, saying what I'm saying, going to do anything to anybody. But as I said, the change comes with numbers. If we have the numbers, we get change. If we don't have the numbers, they're going to laugh at us. And they've been laughing at us over the last couple of years.
Yeah, because we have said on this program and about the programs that when we look at CONCACAF, it seems to be dominated by the big three in terms of whatever decisions are made are in the interest of the big three. And do you see, does it really work that way? Or is it more regional decisions are made and it just appears that way from afar?
I think, personally, I'm not going to go that far in terms of whether decisions benefits the big three or big four or big five. What I can tell you is a lot of times we sit in those rooms and decisions are made and we just comply. We just accept. We do not, if we don't agree, we do not step up and disagree. So a lot of decisions are made and we're part of it. Yet still, the decisions are passed because we do not voice our concerns. We do not voice our opposition if it affects us. And I think a lot of times, because all these major decisions have to be done by some consensus or at least by a vote. but it passes. So you would think that we were part of it at some point. And I think that's where the issue is. A lot of times we sit in those rooms, and for whatever reason, we're just scared to at least voice our opinion.
Yeah. Well, what I want to ask, would, because this is football, would organizing or setting up something football related kind of influence such support? I think we discussed this the last time. Say there was a restoration or reviving of the Caribbean Cup, but it is centered around using, say, domestic players under 23 as an example, or the homegrown talent. Wouldn't that also probably help to galvanize the leaders? For example, if it is broken up into a couple of zones in the first round, a zone in Grenada, and say a zone in Trinidad, and a zone somewhere else, depending on the geographical locations of the teams. And then when it gets to like the quarterfinals or the semifinals, it is played in one territory. Wouldn't that probably help to bring about that sense of unity that you speak of? Because the entire Caribbean grouping would have to work together. Because when we were one, a lot of it was centered around the fact that we had a regional tournament and not so much dependent on a CONCACAF tournament to kind of cause that unity to be amongst us.
Yeah, I agree. But again, we have to get the buy-in from everybody, because some people right now might be sitting there thinking, you know what, Nations League is just sufficient and I'm good, and I'm not going to go and expand any resources towards any other competition. I believe there's a need for a Caribbean Cup. In Africa, for example, there's a CHAN, CHAN, and that's a competition between countries with local players. I went to the finals last year somewhere in Algeria, where every country would have been participating in CAF, but the players are only eligible if they play within the country where they're born. So if a player is playing in the Nigerian league, he can participate. But if he plays outside of Nigeria, he's not eligible to participate. So I believe, because what we'll have is, a lot of these countries use a lot of players from abroad in the national team. So you have players playing in domestic leagues who never have a chance to represent their country. So it's important that even if we compete at Nations League, we should still provide a platform for our local players to compete. You'll be surprised as to how much players can come out of that and get into the full national team. So I believe there is a need for a Caribbean competition, a Caribbean Cup, so that we can highlight and provide a platform for local players to play in. But also it gives our national teams more opportunities to play. And also, it also makes it more competitive, because within the Caribbean, I think the standard of football within the Caribbean is pretty close. Once you opens up into Nations League and you have Costa Rica, USA, Mexico comes in, you see the disparity. When we played the USA the last match, we got hammered 6-1 and 7-1 or so. Some other countries got beaten like 9 and 10 and 12 and 13 in Nations League. But if we have a Caribbean Cup, the results are closer. People can identify with their players because they're all homegrown local players. It's going to be more competitive, and players will feel that they're actually competing. I feel sometimes in Nations League, countries feel like they just participating and not competing. We were in League A. We played El Salvador and USA. I felt we were just participating. Now, if we were in a group with Trinidad, Antigua, and St. Vincent, we will compete. So we need a Caribbean Cup. And as you said, I think, in the back in the days when we had Caribbean Cup, the entire Caribbean came together to celebrate Caribbean football. We do not have that anymore. So that might inspire the coming together. That might be a good platform to build from, to bring all these countries together and the administrators together. so that we can celebrate Caribbean football, Caribbean people, and even celebrate our culture. For example, what they're doing with the CPL right now.
Yes. Yeah, Cranky, anything else? I see Oran Hernandez from Trinidad keep on telling you to look out, because he knows that there's a game coming up. So every time he types, he's from Trinidad, so he says, "Look out, Grenada."
I'm listening to
TNT.
what Marlon is saying, and it goes back to the theme. I think to me is about leadership, right? So, if you want to bring all these people together, I think you have to have a core of leaders. Maybe it's 3 or 4. We're sort of marshaling this and trying to bring this together. And the way I think you do that, you have to build relationships with the different administrations that are influential, right? You have to be able to have that in place. It's just about people. It's more about people than anything else. So how do I get people together to then engage, to then bring the collective together, and then be able to influence? And the question is, as there being receptiveness, and I said this before, which is amongst the key parties in the region, those who, no matter what administration they're from, seem to be visionary leaders, seem to have been there, done that. And those who may run the large organization in the region, because you have to have those on board to come together, work collectively to figure out where do we go from here, bring to the table a suite of things that you're challenged with. And one thing Marlon mentioned, which is interesting, is about the talent in the region, or the lack of identification of the talent. So how do I make sure I can develop the talent, which is about coaching, accreditation for coach, a bunch of different things that inform that infrastructure. How do I bring the leadership together first to work through what the challenges are, what we need to do, and then get that on the table, work about how we bring the rest of the people with us, and then execute. Because I think that lack of leadership is where we're challenged. Long-winded, but
go ahead, Marlon.
No, I think one, we have to start with the individuals. Do we have a group of individuals that are like-minded, that think outside of the box? I'm not sure how many we have, and if they have, I don't think they've been presenting themselves. I think a lot of times in the region we take this thing personal. So if we agree that there's an issue with CONCACAF or FIFA, we are scared because we think that our issue might affect the feeling of the leaders in those. We believe that whatever we say may affect the feelings of those individuals in leadership in those organizations. A lot of times it's not personal. A lot of times it's a decision of the organization that might be negatively impacting us. And we must voice our opinion. We must show that we do not accept it. We must show that it doesn't benefit us. But I don't. I think most of the times we're scared to speak up because we think that if we speak up, we're attacking an individual or individuals, and a lot of times we're just scared to say anything, and as a result, things happen. And when we're in a group by ourselves, by the bar after the start of the World Cup, whatever it is, everybody says what they have to say. But put us in a room with those organizations and we say nothing.
So here's another question, Mark.
Go ahead.
Here's a point I'm going to make, actually, which is this. So, for example, St. Vincent just had their election not too long ago, right? You're sort of newly president. Jamaica just had theirs. Trinidad just had theirs. I was making a joke the other day about manifestos, which is the Trinidad had a manifesto. I said, did we compare the Trinidad manifesto to Jamaica manifesto? As humor, but the question I'm asking is, I would assume each of these organizations have their manifesto. Or what's in their manifesto? What are their problems? What are their issues? What are they trying to achieve? And then how are they going to achieve those objectives? Because it may be similar problems, but you may require similar solutions. And if you leverage each other, maybe to solve those problems better if you do by your own. Or you may learn something from somebody what they're trying to do that you may be able to leverage. So it's that collective thinking again, because intellectual capital doesn't reside in one place. It's distributed. How do I bring that capital together to leverage it to inform and improve what I'm doing?
But to your point, every country in the Caribbean, no matter which country you're from, we have the same issues. All the issues Jamaica has, Grenada have it. All the issues St. Kitts have, Trinidad has it. So we know what the issues are. In terms of solving those issues, the same way you solve it in St. Kitts is the same way you solve it in Trinidad, is the same way you solve it in Jamaica. So the issues and the solutions are the exact same. The question is, again, as how do we come as a group to alleviate, to eliminate those issues? How do we, as a group, comes with the same solution? Because we already, all of us know the solution. Some of us are just not utilizing those solutions. So how do we, as a group, come together to resolve the same issues? Issues of travel, issues of grassroots program development, coaching education, referee development. We know what all the problems are. Infrastructure. We know what all the problems are. But the question is, can Grenada solve their problem by themselves, or St. Vincent, or St. Kitts by themselves? No. So how do we come together and resolve all those issues? And that's where we have problems. We just cannot seem to come together for whatever reason.
I'll give you an example, Marlon, and I don't know how that works in FIFA. You know more than I do. But if you have a voting block of votes, that votes have to mean something. That's to be able to help you to garner resources, garner support from the FIFA organization, for example. I don't know exactly what FIFA inner workings are, but you got to leverage what you have at your disposal with that asset, which is that vote, to help with your football development in a meaningful way.
Well, all I'm going to say to that is work before.
But that person, that teacher who became that person, right? It was very influential. Yeah.
Whatever you want to say about back then, what we do know is the voting as a block worked before. As to what happens after is debatable, but at one point the Caribbean had one voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I see someone saying that, Marlon, do you think a charity match can be arranged to help Haiti? Again, this comes back to if everything were together, then this could be part of the thing where something is done in terms of football, which I think is definitely a game, and or something is done collectively to support.
Can you imagine if you bring Drogba and Essien and Asamoah Gyan and Latapi and Dwight York and Ricardo Gardner and Tapa and you bring all these guys and play a game in Haiti? Whatever violence is happening in Haiti stops immediately. We've seen it stop wars in the past in Africa, etc. So we know the power of football. So yes, I believe a charity match will help and help greatly, financially and in terms of stopping whatever is happening at that moment. So yes, but the question is, how do we pull something like that together? It's possible, it's easy, but everybody has to come together to do it. Can we come together to do it for Haiti? We should, but can we?
Yeah, absolutely. And then Triple is asking, what is the relationship with the JFF and the GFF?
We have a great relationship. We have a great relationship. Before I became president of the GFA, I was the regional manager for FIFA. So I was responsible for a lot of the projects in Jamaica and around the region. So I have a great relationship with the GFF. And I'm hopeful that it continues to be like that.
Yeah, and I know we also spoke about the possibility of even Grenadian players. Since Anthony Modeste, I don't think there has been a player from Grenada playing in Jamaica, and we saw Jamaican teams advancing to the CFU, the CONCACAF Club Championship. I know that they were supposed to. I know that there's an MOU between the JFF and the TTFA. I mean, are there any similar arrangements where we can see just probably the domestic-based Grenadian players probably being exported to other leagues and even to the JPL just for further growth and, like I said, collaboration between the countries? Are those?
I think there's a need. We've proven already. Anthony came over and was an excellent player in Jamaican Professional League. We've had players going to Trinidad for years. Presently, we have 3 players from our national team playing in Trinidad. So we know it works. Presently in the Caribbean, there's only 2 professional leagues. If you count in Dominican Republic, there's 3 professional leagues. There's Jamaica, Trinidad, and Dominican Republic. So it's important that some of the best players from St. Lucia, St. Vincent's, and Kitts play in those leagues because that'll be the highest level of football in the Caribbean. So it's important that they get into Jamaica, get into Trinidad, and play at that level. Because playing in the amateur domestic leagues in St. Vincent, Grenada, Antigua, etc., the standard would not be the same as in the Jamaican professional league. A matter of fact, if we get all the best players from throughout the region playing in those leagues, it lifts the standard of the leagues also because there'll
Yeah.
be more competition, not just competition within the different clubs, but competition within the actual teams for positions, etc. Because you have new guys coming in with international experience, etc. So I think it's important that the Jamaican Professional League. I know Trinidad is exploring; they're always trying to get players in. We only sent 3 players to Trinidad, and I know they wanted much more. So we need to look at Jamaica as a viable option for some of our domestic players to play professional football.
Yeah, I think that would be great. I think that would be great. Cranky, you need to see we can go down to Grenada in a nice place, Go and watch some of
Yeah,
those.
when he was talking, I was thinking about it. So maybe I should just take a trip down there. I
Ve-
haven't been there in a long time. I went to Grenada to play football, actually. Well, with my
yeah.
Grenadian friends. With my Grenadian friends, yeah. I had a lot of Grenadian friends, tons of them.
Okay.
So I'm very familiar. I've been to Guave and St. George's and those places. I've been to Grenada.
You
I guess.
see, you had to visit the best place in Grenada. So
So Marlon, quick question for you. And by the way, they love me in Grenada. Anyway, Marlon, quick
Oh, we can find out.
because I'm Jamaican. So,
you know, as you mentioned, Guelph. You know, Kirani James is from Guelph, and a lot of people don't know Kirani James was a footballer that played for me when he was 11, 12, 13. Played football for me, and I had to stop him and had him focus on track and field.
oh, interesting. Well, right choice. Best choice. Actually. So Marlon, as you think about your role and what you're doing and your objectives, what are you prioritizing at the moment? If you think about all, because there's a lot of things you mentioned, right? In terms of needs that are there, not just for Grenada, but throughout the Caribbean. But in terms of Grenada, what are you prioritizing now? What's a quick fix that you're trying to prioritize?
There's no quick fix. I'm doing long-term investment. I'm not doing quick fixes. My focus right now is on grassroots and new development. While at the same time, so I'm going 2 ways from the bottom up. So grassroots and new development. I'm bringing back primary school football, which has been lacking in Grenada for a lot of years. And then from the top down, coaching education and referee development. So we have a C license which starts on Saturday. We have about 30 something young coaches that'll be coaching in the league, that'll be participating in the C license. Last week, we had a referee development workshop conducted by Pendergrass from Jamaica on behalf of CONCACAF. Next week, we have another referee development workshop. The Mexico Football Federation is sending one of the best instructors to help our referees. So the focus has to be on development. If we do quick fix, is we're going to continue to lag at 174 in the world. Grenada was ranked 88 in the world in 2011 and 174 in the world in 2024. So we need to be able to invest in our young players, identify talent, and then develop them. And that's my focus. I'm not trying to go a quick fix to be re-elected. If I'm re-elected or not, it doesn't matter. My focus is on trying to get the football right in Grenada. Getting Grenada back to top 5, top 3 in the Caribbean. We're about 14th in the Caribbean right now, which is unacceptable. And to get back there, we have to go back from zero and start development. If we do quick fix, we might get good results. We might bring in 50 players from England to play on our national teams and win games, and our ranking goes up, but our football on the ground is still shit. So we need to find a way to make the football on the ground better so that we provide a competitive environment. So even if we identify players abroad, when they come in, they have to compete for positions. It should not be automatic. So the focus right now is grassroots youth development, coaching education, and referee development.
What's the timeline that you're looking at to see tangible results?
So we've launched a national grassroots program for kids from 6 to 15. So it's under 16. And our hope is from there. FIFA just launched this TDS program where they're trying to get countries to have their own academies instead of club having academies. The FA has academies. So from the grassroots, we're going to pull out the best players that goes into parish academies, and then the parish academy is going to play against each other, and then we're going to have a national academy with the best under 10, under 13, under 15 boys and girls. If we do that for, I believe within 3 years we should start seeing results. But realistically, I'm saying 5 to 6 years we're going to actually get results.
Okay, interesting. So, what other thing are you working? So apart from grassroots, which is important, and which we hear for a lot of different administration, what else are you focused on?
So while you might hear administration saying talking about grassroots, we actually just implemented a national grassroots program. So presently we have about on just under 3,000 kids playing football in Grenada every Saturday, and the grassroots centers continues to increase. This weekend we're going to be launching a new one in Carriacou, which is our sister island. So our hope is to have 5,000 boys and girls under 15, under 15 playing football every day. So it's not just a campaign talk. It's not just a easy thing to say. We're actually doing grassroots as we speak. I'm not sure if there's anywhere else in the world that's doing a national grassroots where every parish, every center, every populated community in Grenada has a grassroots program. So I just wanted to highlight that. But in terms of what else are we doing? We're doing a lot of stuff in terms of ensuring that football is visible and football is attractive, because we believe over the years football has been so unattractive that kids are not even playing. So we have a lot of competitions on the 14 girls, on the 18 girls. We've just started our senior women's league. We didn't have a women's league in Grenada ever. So we just started a proper women's league that's going to go on for about 6 months or so. With, I think we have 12 teams registered so far. We're gonna have on the 15 boys competition starting in April, sorry. We're gonna have on the 19 boys again in the end of April. So lots and lots of competitions, but we also have to go back to the schools football because we believe we've lost a lot of a generation of footballers because we didn't have primary school football. So we're going back to government to ensure that we can work with them to make sure that come September we're going to go back to primary school football.
But Marlon,
Yeah,
don't we have a chicken and egg situation? Sorry, man, I'm just jumping in with this. Two things, but I want to put something out there. One is, how much do parents get involved with their kids' sporting life in Grenada? That's one. And secondly, do we have a chicken and egg? Because you may start a lot of football in grassroots football at all levels, but don't you have the right coaching to develop the best talent you have on the island to then be able to leverage that talent?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We heavily focus on coaching education also. This weekend we're gonna have a grass. Last year we did a first women's C license program, and we licensed 20. We licensed 27 females. So 27 of our female has C license as we speak. We did a project with FIFA and CONCACAF. This year we have a C license, an open C license, and we have 30 plus people registered. By the end of the year, we want to do a B license. We also been bringing in coaches. The father of Reese James and Lauren James, he's from Grenada, Nigel James. And we had him here a couple months ago, taking a look at our football and trying to see how we can help. So we've agreed that come August, he's going to bring in one of his coaches, and they're going to do a workshop for all school kids, all school coaches, sorry, primary school and secondary school. Everybody's going to be in a room, and he's going to teach basics of football. This is the guy he said he learned from. He's going to bring this guy who has developed a curriculum, and he's going to come in and teach our young coaches as to how to coach. We also, over the next couple months, we're going to have technical experts coming in to do programs for coaches. We know it's important that we have good coaches in Grenada, because if we don't have good coaches, as you said, we're going to be wasting our time with our programming. So we're going to go through the formal CONCACAF licenses, etc., but we're going to also go through the informal ways by bringing in proper instructors from around the world who can come in and do workshops, not necessarily licenses, but at least do workshops. So all our guys are getting refreshers. Every month or every other month, we have somebody coming in to deliver coaching education to our coaches.
Okay, let me just ask this, right? So because the dilemma is always, whoa, grassroots football is going good, the coaches are growing, but if how does if the national team, the senior team, is not performing, what sort of impact does that have on the stability of the grassroots program, or what will the 15-year-old aspire to and have aspirations for if they see now a national team that is not winning, not competing, not being in competition? So how do you do all of that at the grassroots level but still present a national team that is competitive at a level where that kid at 13 says, listen, whoa, they got so close to the World Cup, we can take it across. They were in the Gold Cup. They were in. How do you do that at the same time? If you know, I know this is long-winded because you're identifying that there's a need for football development, which means some of these players are already at the senior level. How do you work on the senior team? Why are you just say, listen, is it a clear vision where the people understand for the next couple of cycles, you may not see the results from the senior team, but trust the process. We are building some talent that will come through. Or is there so a concerted effort to stabilize the senior team at the same time?
Marlon, before you answer, and also maintain your position, because that may supersede, that timeline may extend beyond your re-election time period.
The last thing on my mind right now is election and re-election. As I said, I want to make sure I can do what is right, and whatever happens, happens. Um, you know, the president of the Grenada Football Association is a volunteer position. So obviously, I'm literally giving up my time to try to help. I'm a lawyer by profession, and I spend most of my time in this office in the football association trying to help the football for free. So whether I'm re-elected or not, I think I've lived. Football has done so much for me. Because of football, I have a first degree, I have a second degree, thanks to football. So I've gotten enough from this football. So for me, and as a student of the game, I need to make sure that we do what is right. Management, to your question, let me start with you first. We have to be patient. Easily, we can go to England and bring 23 players down here and they represent Grenada, and we may get some success. But is that helping? And are we going to get some success? And we may get to be ranked in the top 100 in the world. But does that help actual football on the ground in Grenada? No, because while we win in games, we have horrible football being played on the ground. So for me, let me give you a story. Jason Roberts was playing in England. By then, he was playing championship, etc., and sat on the bench in a national team with Anthony Modest, Patty Modest, Ricky Charles, and a number of the entire team was local players. And Jason Roberts would sit on the bench because there were players who, in any given game, the coach thought would have been better than him in a given game. And as a result, he was forced as a championship and then was bursting into Premier League, had to sit on the bench. Today in Grenada, because the standard of football is so low, anytime we bring a player from England, he could be playing in conference or non-league, he's probably better than the players we have here. So I'm not in the position of trying to win just to win in games and not developing the football. It's like putting a little bit of tape on a really bad wound that you have. It doesn't fix it. It looks good, but it doesn't fix it. So the question is, how do we fix the football? And for me, my focus is on fixing the football rather than getting results. The results going to come if we fix the football. But if we continue to get results and not fix the football, then what we're going to have is in 10 years or so, nobody's playing football on the ground. So we're going to do like Montserrat and, bring in a full team of players based in England, living in England, to represent the country. Is that what we want as a footballing country as Grenada? No. Everybody wants to know that they have a chance when they put on their boots and play for their club at under 15, under 19, or senior national team, that they have a chance to realize their dreams of playing for their country. That's what they're playing for. As much as everybody wants to win the league, but if you ask every kid in Grenada when they start playing football at 9 or 10, where they foresee themselves, at first they may say playing professional football, but secondly is they want to put on the national team shirt and play for the country. So we must make sure that we can develop these talent so that they can play for Grenada, not try to win matches. If we focus in on winning matches, then it defeats the purpose of this organization. We may as well just have one person that's bringing 20 players every time we have a game and they play for Grenada.
What gives you confidence of success?
When I see 1 or 2 or 3 homegrown players at 15 or 16 leaving our shows to play professional football in wherever it is, presently, I don't think we have those type of players, and we're struggling to even to get into colleges. When I was playing football, on any given day, the entire national team could have played in college or played professional football. Today, I don't see that because the standard is so poor. So what gives me confidence? What tells me that we've reached somewhere is when we have players, local players, getting out of Grenada and finding a career using this game.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, But yeah, I know, like in Jamaica, it's a challenge because having taste like the World Cup, there is this, and I totally, while I agree with what you're saying, there is a, because in Jamaica, I can use Jamaica. People want a senior team that is always winning, but they do believe in grassroots development, and that is what I'm trying to, because we all agree, I think Cranky agrees and I agree that grassroots development long term is necessary and important, because at the end of the day you have to have the right infrastructure, the right coaches, more people playing, getting high quality, so you can have kids going all over the world playing and getting into college. But at the same time, the prestige of a national team is also on the forefront of people's mind. And they're saying, okay, while they do the grassroots stuff, how do we still have a national team, like I'm saying, that when they step on the field, we can have confidence that they're going to win, confidence that they can qualify for a World Cup. And I think right across the Caribbean, that continues to be a battle for administrators, because at the end of the day, if the senior teams are failing, it feels like for many, like then grassroots football is not
Yeah, but
transforming.
there must be a balance, because I'm not going to sit here honestly. You see, if you come to me and you say to me that we have 20 players playing in the English Premier League, can they come and play for Grenada? I'm going to welcome them openly. But if you tell me we have guys playing in 9 division, conference, non-league, but they're going to come to Grenada, you're going to bring 23 of them, and the kid who's 19, who's showing so much promise, he just came from the U20 national team. He's the leading scorer in the Premier League in Grenada. He's dominating everywhere you're seeing him, but he's not going to be included in the team because we have 23 players coming from England or whatever. I'm not going to support it. I don't care if that 20 players that comes from England is going to win us 2 games in the Gold Cup or in the Nations League. I'm not going to support it. We must find a balance where, yes, we can use players in the diaspora, but at the same time, we must provide a platform for our local players to get an opportunity to play on the national team. Because I was there once upon a time, and if I'm a kid at 18, 17, just coming off a U17 national team, U20 national team, and you telling me I have no chance of making this team because the entire team is going to come from England, not from the Premier League, but from League 5 and League 10 and Sunday League and whatever else,
Yeah,
and they're going to play before me, then I can't support it.
I think we can all agree that the non-league players is a little different. That is, I
But,
think
but,
I
but
think
Marlon,
that,
I say this though, Marlon, which is just like our track and field athlete, right? We have to be able to compete at some point. That's why I talk about the coaching is an imperative. Because if we think genetically and athletically, people in the Caribbean should really compete with anyone across the world. We've proven that. So it must be in the coaching where we're struggling. It has to be. Even the infrastructure is not the same. It has to be in the coaching. So how do you get the coaching to be world class to develop world class players?
I agree. And that's something that we're working on. We've been working on. How do we expose our coaches? As a matter of fact, management, when I was in Dallas a couple of weeks ago, I had a meeting with FC Dallas. And part of the discussion we had was how do we get some of our young coaches to come there to shadow the coach of the first team, shadow the coach of the women's team when we send our women coaches, so that they can see football from a different lens, from a different angle. And we've been trying to do the same thing in terms of Nigel James in England, in terms of some of the clubs that we've been speaking with. I just saw Simon posted about Shannon Baptiste. We have a very good relationship with Brentford. And they've also, we've been talking about getting some of our coaches at Brentford to do the same thing at Watford and at Brighton. The CEO at Brighton believes he has some roots in Grenada. So he wants to do some stuff with us. But so we need to expose our coaches. We need to have better coaches, more qualified coaches. We need to find ways and means of getting our coaches not just CONCACAF licenses, but how do we get them into UEFA licenses? So we're always looking for opportunities for our coaches, because it's important that we have good coaches. Otherwise, we're not going to have good players. It's simple.
Yeah.
To Simon's question regarding Shannon Baptiste, we've reached out to Shannon Baptiste on many occasions. Shannon Baptiste actually played 2 matches for Grenada in the past, but for whatever reason he doesn't want to play as of right now. We've asked over and over and over, but he hasn't decided to continue to play. So that's just where it is.
Marlon, have you reached out to any organization in Spain? And the reason why I say Spain, they probably have the most coaches with UEFA licenses per capita across the world. And secondly, importantly, their coaches at the highest level seem to do the best, right? Think about Spain coaches and how they distribute coaches across the globe and where they're at the highest level. They seem to be doing really, really well. I know these are different in terms of language, but have we reached out to any organization in Spain to have such engagement?
No, not necessarily. We've been speaking. A lot of times, people reach out to us about doing programs, etc. Matter of fact, almost every day, my email is bombarded with individuals who wants to come in and help. But a lot of times, the help comes with a cost, so we have to manage between some of these. But we'll take whatever support we can get from wherever it is. But we're always looking for the support. And most of the coaches now were players I played with back then. So personally, I want to see them grow, and I want to see them become great coaches and get whatever opportunities are presented in front of them. So we're working on these. As I said, this weekend we have a C license, so it's a start for a number of them. What we didn't do a good job at over the last couple of years is doing coaching education. So we've been focusing heavily on that.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, it is like I said, for one of the smaller islands, a lot has been happening in Grenada. I mean, you have hosted Carifta under 17 competitions and stuff. So, I just think there's always this progressive mindset, and yeah, that's there. But again, you have talent, and I know, like you use even the Baptiste, because we struggle with that, and I think because Jamaica, I think the situations, there are similarities, but there are also major differences, because we have, I believe, a greater um diaspora to deal with. That's one, which means if we have more people, then we're gonna have greater amounts at the higher level. So we don't necessarily have to go down to League Two as an example. We can stick to the Premier League and the Championship, and we will have like exceptional talent. I think that is the big difference, where Jamaica is concerned, and also you have the USA, because of how wide the diaspora is. But it is also true that while those things are happening, there must be at the same time an effort to work on things at the domestic level, right? To help with that, because sometimes the top talent will say no. for whatever reason. It may be because of poor administration. It can be because they have options in the nations that they are, which are, I always tell people, if a person is born in England or the USA, though they have Jamaican or Grenadian connection, if they opt like, listen, I want to wait on England, I want to wait on the USA, I think that is a reasonable position to take because that's where they were born, though they have connection. No, and I know sometimes that is hard to receive, but I totally understand when persons take that position. But at the end of the day, like I said, I think some of it's a little different because Jamaica has like this wider pool, and you ask yourself, how do we balance that again versus developing at the grassroots level? When in Jamaica, you're muted, Cranky. In Jamaica, so many things are so competitive because that's when you look at our track and field, we have a basic school championship, like basic school is 6 and under, and there's a national basic school championship that is kept in a national stadium where kids 6 and under are competing in races to see which one is the top basic school in Jamaica. So you realize that at the end of the day, I think winning takes precedence over development from a very early
No, but
age.
Manis, I'm gonna reposition the argument a little bit to say what
Okay.
Marlon is basically saying is that not that he doesn't want to win now, but he realizes that even if he taps into talent overseas, he's not getting to where he wants to go, destination, because the talent he's tapping into is not at the level it needs to, and at the same time, he has to develop grassroots football. He has to. And Jamaica has to do the same thing too. They're not mutually exclusive. As he mentioned at the outset, the challenges faced by Grenada, the same across the Caribbean. You need to develop local talent. The question is, do all federation president and administration have the same view on Marlon, which is not about me, so I can be a sacrificial lamb for the larger good, which is I may sacrifice my position 4 years from now because of a long-term goal which has to be achieved. So I'm not thinking about me and the immediacy of satisfying what's required of the president, which is I win now so I can get voted next year. I don't care about that. My goal is I've received something from football, which I'm going to give back as volunteer position. I want to make sure long-term, 5, 10, 15 years from now, I build a sustainable program to help the country develop players who are going to be able to compete at the world level. At the same time, there's a long line behind them coming, right? A long line behind them coming of players. We're churning them out. We're churning them out because we know fundamentally they have the innate athleticism that's required, coupled with the right coaching, which I'm building. I will produce world class talent. That's the way I view it anyway.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I would never sit here and say I don't want to win. Otherwise, we don't compete. If I didn't want to win, we'd withdraw from World Cup qualifying, and withdraw from Nations League, etc. Obviously, we want to win, but we need to make sure that there is a good balance between the players we bring in and what we have on the ground. So if we're going to bring in a player from non-league, and he's almost the same as one of the under 19 players we have here, maybe he may be a little bit more professional because he's coming from England, etc. But the kid here is the same speed, they both strong, both left-footed, etc. Then give the option to the player in Grenada. But at the same time, if you have a kid from the Premier League that's coming, it's a no-brainer. So if you have 20 Premier League players, I'll take all 20 of them. But at the same time, if you're going to come with a player, he must be more outstanding. He must be a superior talent compared to what we have on the ground in Grenada. Because we need to make sure that we can develop what's on the ground. Otherwise, as to the question you asked earlier, management, if we cannot identify with players on the ground when they play in the Premier League, etc., and all they are good enough to play in the Premier League, how do we get the next generation to come play in the Premier League? Who are they looking towards?
Yeah, you're trying to create an assembly line, right? Which I think is an imperative for the entire region, whether it's Jamaica or Grenada, for example. I think there needs to be an assembly line that you're creating of quality talent to bring to the program. Go ahead, man.
Simon is asking, would you say football is number one in terms of participation in Grenada, or is it cricket or track and field, especially with the advent of Carifta? Are you losing footballers to track and field?
That's a good question. Football is by far the most participated sport, by far. But
Okay.
what we do have is, the kid that came in the under 17 javelin, he came in third, and in the I think he came in third or so in his under 1700 or so. This kid is one of our under 15 footballers. So we have a lot of our footballers who are actually track athletes. One
We
of the
keep
kids who was
say
on
that,
the
because we have some Kingston College recruiters and Jamaica College recruiters
Here
on
we
the
go.
show who probably will try to find a way to call you to get those
No,
kids.
there's actually there was one of the high schools was in Grenada a couple of weeks ago and picked one of our footballers who also is a sprinter. I just heard that he's going to Jamaica.
Yes, just what I'm talking.
Um,
You go to JC.
so
It's JC's not KC.
so a few of the kids who play both football and track. I know some of the Jamaicans are actually looking at them. But
Yeah.
we don't have any. I don't think it's competition. I don't think there's a competition between sports. Most of the kids they do track and field part time, but they spend more time doing football. I just had to stop one last year and ask him to focus on track and field. And no, he just made the curve to the team and just ran a 46-second split in the 4x4. That infamous 4x4 that never finished in the last race of the Caribbean Games. My guy on the third leg was a footballer that played for me since he was 5 years old, and believed he was a footballer until last year, August. I stopped him from playing football and asked him to start training for track because he never trained for track. He just played football and showed up at high school track events, etc., and would win. So
You're trying to find an ex Kirani.
I think he's I don't think he's going to be as good as Pirani, but he's going to be a very good quarter miler. He's running 46 seconds now. I can see him running, if he focuses on the track, I can see him running 45 seconds. And he's only 18 years old. I can see him running 45 seconds by next year or so. Because he just started track training for the first time in August at about 48 seconds, and now he's down to 46. So I believe he can run 45, low 46 or 45 by next year.
Yeah, the other question I want to ask you, maybe we can get some advice in this, is how does a person say I play for Burnley, but my grandparents are Grenadian. Can I play for Grenada?
Yes, yes.
All right.
We have not in law, but we have an arrangement with government. If so, in law, you can only get citizenship by parents in law.
Wow.
But if you provide some service to the country, then you can get citizenship through as a third generation through your grandparents. So yes, if your grandparents are from Grenada, then you can get citizenship.
If you're providing service, how long is that process? I'm asking that because we have had some in Jamaica that has taken like more than 2 years.
Nah, we get that in a week or a month. I've been having the conversation. As a matter of fact,
In a week?
in a week we can turn over citizenship. If we
In a
have a
week?
kid, if we identify a kid and he gets the paperwork in time, once he gets in our hands in the office here, in a week we can probably turn it over.
This is someone in England.
Someone in England, but obviously there is some documents he'll have to do while in England. But if he can do his side of the work in England, it may take 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Once we get it in office, in a week, maybe 2 weeks, we can turn it around.
Is it because you don't have a large volume of people applying for citizenship and for
That is
passports?
one. That is one. Remember, we're a small country, and two, because of I think our government also understands the importance of getting some of these players to participate for the country. I think they get it.
Right.
If we get a player from the Premier League right now and he says, "Hey, I want to play," then we can make it happen as soon as possible.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's an issue. We've been having this conversation with some of the Caribbean islands. St. Vincent just passed law because of football. So now St. Vincent recognized third generation. Trinidad has been having some debate over it. I think they're moving towards recognizing third generation. If they don't do it, they may do something similar to Grenada in that
Whoa.
at least if they're providing some
You
sort
know,
of
this is
service to
so
the country.
strange because Jamaica has been doing this for so long. And always, I'm telling you, there are players that it has taken like 2 years. So
No,
I don't know of a case
Maybe
that
not
has.
incentivizing those who are making the decisions.
No, what I'm saying is that I don't know of a case that has taken a week. I've never heard of that.
Yeah. You see, I think, as I said, I believe our government got it right. So the process is very simple. Obviously, we need to have the right documentation in front of them. But remember, we are a country of 110,000 people. So it make business easier when it comes to business with government.
Yeah, maybe that is it because I guess when someone says your grandmother is from Jamaica, you have to go and find out. It may take a little bit longer, but I mean, a year and a week is really far apart. That's like 51 additional weeks. You understand me? So I'm thinking like with all the difficulties, if you can take a week with 110, if we, I don't know. I don't know if we need 52 weeks, but I just needed to know that because, and the other thing that I like is that other Caribbean countries, like you said, are seeing the need to do this because I know Cranky has always said this. The inclusion of your diaspora is not just for football. Is just the other opportunities that it opens up. You know, imagine that if all Grenadians were contributing, home and abroad, were contributing in a positive way to Grenada's economy.
Yeah.
And I think that when you widen that pool,
but not that alone. All of a sudden you get a player that appears on Man United. He may never make England. He realizes he never make England, but then he gets Grenada citizenship. He's on TV every week as a Grenada national team player. The value that is for tourism industry. As much as Shandon doesn't play for Grenada, but he's identified as a Grenada national team player. So whenever he shows up on the pitch for Brentford, he's seen as a Grenada national team player. Every time the word Grenada comes out of the commentator's mouth, Grenada gets some value. Somebody's hearing about this place called Grenada and may be interested in visiting. So it's important that we engage the diaspora, and that's why we try to facilitate players from the diaspora as quickly as possible. And the other thing is, some of these players have options because playing for Grenada, if we can get them over the line, that might be the difference between them playing for us or playing for St. Lucia or playing for Jamaica. So if a player is not getting his citizenship from Jamaica, he may decide, you know what, I want to play, so let me play for Grenada.
Yeah, because you can buy the citizenship.
That's another story, but that is another process. We've never used that. We've never used that medium. We've never used that medium for football. But that medium does not work for football also because FIFA has regulations to guard against that.
Oh.
So I think FIFA says you have to be living in the country for at least 5 years after the citizenship to start playing. So it's not a direct, hey, I can buy citizenship in Grenada and my son start playing next week. If you buy citizenship from Grenada or St. Kitts, you have to move to Grenada and be resident there for a minimum of 5 years before you can start playing. So that's
and Marlon, I think management is confusing the administrations that he's talking about.
but that is good. There's a lot of things happening because I think it is. I look at even the Brazil team. Like more than 90% of Brazil and Argentina team play outside of Brazil and Argentina. Of course, that is because they export a lot of players. The Uruguay team, most of their players play outside of of Uruguay. Same thing with Colombia. At least they're starting 11. So you're seeing that because, like I said, that until we have the infrastructure, some of this will have to happen because until we have the proper developmental things that you're speaking of in Grenada, some of this will happen. But I know it's difficult because you're a smaller place, but I think this kind of organization, this kind of structure, this kind of system will eventually produce the results. It may not be to qualify for World Cups and all of that, but then we will hear and see more players. Leaving. I remember in talking to, I think we lost Marlon there, maybe his phone, but I remember talking to Brentford about, talking to the people at Brentford about being in Jamaica, and they talked about having done a watch along in Grenada because of this player called Baptiste. Right? So like he's saying that these kind of things open the door. Maybe the Aston Villas doing stuff in Jamaica, the West Ham. So there is that added benefit. And I think I don't know if the Jamaican government is as gung-ho as, say, the Grenadian government in getting people to become citizens. Like I think the government can intervene in a lot of these things.
Management, I think familiarity breeds contempt. What do I mean by that? So when you have a large base, it's easy then not to be less focused on these things, right? You have half the population of Jamaica probably lives outside Jamaica. So it's a different construct than a Grenada, for example. But I think what he's alluding to is the government of Grenada recognizes the need for this, so they give it special attention. I don't think the Jamaica government give the special attention for those individuals providing service to the country. So you may have two lines, right? There's a priority line, which is providing service. We expedite the process for you to get your citizenship and your passport. I'm not sure we have that across the board when it comes to sports, for example. We may, but I'm not aware of that. Yeah, and I think that's what probably should happen, actually, which is there's special dispensation made for individuals with certain specialized skills that the country can leverage to expedite the citizenship process.
Yeah. I was saying while we were off, Marlon, that I had dialogue with people at Brentford, and they told me about a watch party that they did in Grenada because of Baptiste being there. And I'm saying that, look at that, like you're saying, that leveraging, just other things for the country out of the sport. Imagine if you had players at West Ham and Arsenal and Manchester City and United, that just the kind of tourism for that would bring in, and the resources that will bring in, and that's what Cranky was speaking about now, the necessity for government to really, I know in Jamaica, to be involved in this in a tangible way.
Yeah, we see this as, and this government is trying to push this whole sports tourism. I know we always talk about sports tourism, but we haven't really, and we talk about it, but we don't invest in it. I think it's clear that if one Grenadian, just one, because we are such a small economy, if we get a Dwight York or Ricardo Gardner that eventually plays in the Premier League, homegrown, home developed, and appears in the Premier League, that'll do wonders for economy. You guys have done quite a few already. Look at what Kirani James has done for Grenada. Now, if you talk about Grenada, everybody remember Kirani James. So if we get a footballer who goes Saturday after Saturday appearing in the Premier League and playing good football, then I don't think our tourism budget could equate to the sort of investment, the sort of impact that player is going to have on our tourism industry. So even with this Legends match, our government is heavily invested in it because they do understand between all the players that are coming in, we're looking at about 15 to 20 million followers on social media. So if one of the players, Adebayo, comes in and posts on social media that he's on Grenada, on Grandin's Beach during that period, then the impact of that on our tourism industry, you're looking at everybody from Arsenal, everybody from Tottenham, everybody from Inter, looking at or following in Adebayo, understands that he's in some place and wants to find out where that place is and may want to visit. So it's important that we look at the impact on our economy and our tourist industry.
It's interesting you use Adebayor as your example. Very interesting player.
Yeah. But
Very interesting player.
We have one line. Andre from Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to the show.
I thought he's from North Carolina.
from North Carolina via Trinidad and Tobago. How you doing, man?
Oh, let's say that right. From North Carolina via Tobago.
No, Trinidad and Tobago. Marlon, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well, Andre.
It's always good to listen to your contribution regarding football in the region. The piece that I wanted to chime in on is the discussion about, your last sentiment there about, what it would mean to develop a player in Grenada that can go outside and make it in the Premier League or maybe in La Liga. You didn't mention La Liga. I'm adding that to even Syria. I think one of my thoughts has always been, as I listen to coaches from the region, there seem to be, and maybe it's a subconscious position they take, that there isn't a belief that we can develop our players to get to that level. So the conversation now about finding players from the diaspora, players from outside, it's kind of, it's prominent and it's taken over. And anybody who have the ability to find players from the outside to add to what they have, that's great. You can't run from that. But I think the belief that we can develop players to get them to that level, have the expertise to do that. I think that should be the main focus of any football island in the Caribbean. To really, because it's not just about the ability to run fast. I watch the under-20, and a lot of the teams in the under-20 seem to resort to playing in transition. And as you know, the game has four major moments in it, and the other moments, it don't seem as though we invest enough time in trying to develop the players to play in those ways. For example, like possession football, for example. We all like it. We all talk about it. But you don't see, I can't remember looking at a team in the region that really dominates possession. You see what I mean? And so you look at the under-20 and I'm thinking, who's really impressive, right? Who really, Jamaica had a good squad. Their football wasn't like that. Trinidad football wasn't like that. I don't know if you guys have seen any team in the region, whether it's a youth team or what, that dominates possession of the football.
No, Andre, we've done it before in the past. Let's go back to Dwight York and Russell Atterfield and B.B. Gardner and Lalu from Barbados, Atiba Harris from St. Kitts. We've done it before. We've created superstars from local football. So why can't we do it again?
Right.
We have more resources, more opportunities, more platforms for coaches to develop. So why can't we do it now with all these resources available to us?
I believe we could and should be able to, but I don't know that. So, for example, we talk about dominating possession. Well, you need good fields. It's an education you provide for players from an early age. It's really an education, and not something that you just decide, well, this game I want to possess the football, I want to dominate possession. It's something that requires the expertise and the commitment to doing the work that needs to be done every day, the commitment to having the best surfaces possible, to receiving the education. There's a lot of things that is required for it that I'm not so sure that I haven't seen any evidence, let's put it that way, because while I pay attention to what's going on in the region, I don't know what's happening every single day, but you can see the outcome in competition. like we played under 20 and the best in the group stage, the best competitor we came up against was Canada, and Canada was comfortable. You know, they dominated the possession and they did what they wanted to do, and they won by 3 clear goals. And so from our perspective, Trinidad and Tobago perspective, I think we should be better. We should be able to play the game, and when Canada have the ball, fine, they can have it, and we have to work to get it. And when we have it, they should have to work very hard to get it too. And that could be the same with this Canada.
But again, it goes back to because you had a Trinidad under 19 team that went to the under 20 World Cup with Dwight York, etc. a number of years ago. A full team that dominated the region, dominated CONCACAF, and went to the World Cup somewhere around 1990. So,
right.
As I said, we've done it before. So we have the athletes now. The problem is we haven't spent time developing these athletes at 11 and 12 and 13 and 14. We haven't. Canada has been doing it. That's why they dominated. So it goes back to my point. If we don't focus on grassroots and new development, and we focus heavily on just bringing in a national team from abroad, we're going to always have that problem. So we're going to have a senior national team that wins games, and everybody say, yes, we're doing great. But then when we go out at under 14, at under 15, at under 17, we've been battered because we're not doing any homework at home.
Perfect. And that's the point that I want to highlight, that we need to skew that equation in the direction, getting the right expertise in, creating the right environment where we can educate. Football is about an education. It's not about being able to run fast again and all of that stuff. You know, Iniesta and Gavi and them, they were good athletes, but they weren't the fastest guys out there. You know, and they were brilliant footballers. They were brilliant footballers. That's really
Andre,
you didn't pay your phone bill.
Yeah, you're breaking up. Hello?
Time. Oh, your location. Yeah, could you hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you now.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that my phone or your location?
Oh,
it's your phone. It's your phone.
Yeah. But we're going to make, you know what? Let me just say this, right? So I'm going to let you re-say what you were saying. But I know when I say Cranky blanked out his screen, it is because the Champions League just started, so you have to go and turn on his TV. Marlon has changed his position as well because he wants to watch the Champions League. And I know that, you know, you're probably getting ready to do it, so I'm going to let you.
We're trying to watch some possession football.
So I'm going to let you finish, Andre. I'll make your point, and Marlon can respond. And I'm going to release everyone lest they become very uncomfortable to go watch the Champions League.
Well, in the interest of transparency, I can tell you I'm calling because I have mine on. Yeah, so I guess my point was it just, you know, I'm agreeing with Marlon that we need to put the create the environment where we can develop our players to play football at that level, because the truth is that if you're a good footballer in Jamaica or in Trinidad or Grenada or for me anywhere in the world that your game intelligence is developed, your technical ability is developed in the right way, you can go and play at any level of football. Right? You could go and adjust to the speed of play. And I think the focus at the very early ages, when the brain allows them to learn the technical side of the game, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, when they could take that information on board, because that's what the brain allowed them to take on board, they can't get into all the tactical stuff. If we focus on those things and we give them the education that they need from a very early age, then I think we're going to have players that can, at 16 and 17 and 18, we know you can't go before 18 if you just have the one passport, but to get into those environments and function and become very good players, you know.
Yeah, good point, Andre. Listen, thank you as usual. For calling in. Hope you can join us when we do this again, so you can be like on the set, and be a part
Yes,
of the
yes.
discussion. And we're trying to get in touch with Mr. Edwards out of the TNT FA, and also want to speak to Atiba Harris, I think his name is, to just hear what is happening around the Caribbean in terms of Caribbean football. So we're going to try our best to get in touch with the newly elected president of the TTFA. And Atiba Harris is his name. I think he's a president in St. Kitts right now. Former MLS player, and thing. But Marlon, anything you want to say in response to what Andre just said, and then we'll also allow you to go, and then Cranky, you'll get to say the final word. Thank you again, Andre, and
Yes.
yeah, man. All right,
No worries. All right. Take care.
take care.
Marlon, thank you.
Bless up,
Take care.
Andre.
All right, take care, Andre.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I just want to say thank you again for having me on your program. It's always a pleasure to join your program to discuss football, to discuss Caribbean football, and I'm look forward to being on the next time you need me.
Just tell the people about just remind them FIFA May, place, time, location. If you're
May
coming from
5th,
outside of the Caribbean,
May
from other places
5th,
inside the Caribbean, or from New
yep,
York like Cranky, where should they
May,
stay?
yep, May 5th, Grenada National Stadium or Kirani James Stadium. Um, Caribbean legends against the rest of the world. And with all the big names of world football is going to be here. As I said, Adebayo, JJ Okocha, Elaj Juve, Alex Song, Anthony Bafo, former Ghana national team player, and many others. We have Luis Fernandez from Mexico, Jared Bogatti from Mexico, um, from US soccer, Kobe Jones, from Canada soccer, Dwayne Rosario, and from our own in the Caribbean, from Jamaica, you have Bibi Gardner, Pepe Goodison, Freddie Butler. From Trinidad, we have Shaka Islap, Russell Latapi, Kenwin Jones, Brent Sancho, Stern John. From St. Kitts, we have Atiba Harris and Yellowman from St. Kitts. From Barbados, Lalu Goodrich and Norman Ford. Um, so we're gonna have about 30 to 40 legends in Grenada. It's gonna be a nice fun time for everybody. But at the same time, Grenada is gonna be seeing that level of football for the first time ever. Seeing some of these guys you would have watched on TV over the years. This is the first time most of them. A matter of fact, I was shocked that Gigi Okocha, etc. They've never been down to the Caribbean, although they would have had Caribbean teammates. With Gigi had BB in
Yeah.
Bolton, etc. None of them have been down to the Caribbean, so all of them are
Whoa.
excited to be down in the Caribbean, and it's going to be a fun few days of football.
Man, this
Right.
man saying,
Somebody's
"Oh,
asking.
like we go to Africa." We don't go to Africa. We don't go to Africa, so it's not shocking.
Somebody's asking me if Keith Fletcher is playing.
Keith is coming. Keith Fletcher is one of our legends. He's coming from Washington D.C. He's playing.
Oh, he went to
Uh,
Howard.
he went to Howard. He went to Howard. Yeah.
I know. This is a man in this man who went to Howard, Clayton Barrage asking about this. I know. Anytime he
King,
ask about,
So
anytime he ask
is
about,
Shelby Joseph coming too?
Salary is coming. Fletcher is coming. Jason Roberts is coming. So yeah, we're gonna have all the Grenadian legends present also.
all right, listen, man, always a pleasure just listening to you and your wealth of knowledge as it relates to Caribbean football. We believe that these things we need to find, and whatever we can do at I Am Sure Sports to kind of galvanize Caribbean stakeholders at the MAs to kind of again operate as a block, not for the purpose of winning a CONCACAF election, but that the Caribbean again can become a dominant force where we have every cycle there should be a Caribbean team qualifying for the World Cup, male and female, under 20 and under 17. And that happens when we work together. Every single cycle there should be at least one qualifying for one of these major footballing tournament on the male side and on the female side. And I mean, your vision is something that people would run with, and whatever we can do at I Am Sure Sports, you know, I know Cranky has always been on board. He normally tells members of the GFF that they need to go and listen to interviews that you do, and I know sometimes they don't take too kindly to it. You know, but I'll let him have the final say. I hope he doesn't end the program the way he started, about him playing with some Grenadans and not telling you that when Freddie Butler came to play for the team Buffalo over there, they relegated him to the bench and Freddie Butler started. But which team did he play for over there, Marlon? Did he play for Buffalo too?
No,
I didn't play in both. I was actually supposed to go to the same college with Freddie Butler, Dean Sewell in New Hampshire College. But then I transferred to South Carolina. So I played college football in South Carolina. I actually played my first year in St. Francis in New York. I played 1 year there and then was going to transfer to New Hampshire with Freddie and Dean Sewell, etc. So I spent the entire summer in New Hampshire before I went to South Carolina.
Oh, he's talking of, you know, the little Bronx League that they used to, those league over there. So
I played in the Bronx League with Dean. Dean Sewell. I played a couple of games in the Bronx League, and I played most of the time in Brooklyn Caribbean Cup, etc.
Yes,
okay.
I used to have to run that Brooklyn League, man. You have to run it, not just run it.
He used to run the league. Couldn't get any game.
I played Caribbean Cup. I played Caribbean Cup in Brooklyn from I played 95 until 2000. Caribbean Cup in Brooklyn.
Yeah, Grenada had a very good team, by the way. They used to win it sometimes too. They had the best crowd. The entire Grenada came out on match day.
For
the Grenada, yeah. We used to be a very good competition.
So you know Clayton then, because Clayton said he played with Butler for Buffalo, Cranky.
I don't remember. He must have another name. We have football names. We don't have real names.
So Clayton is a midfielder, a very skillful midfielder. I think they used to call him Blocks. He went to Howard.
Yeah, possibly. The name sounds familiar. We don't know
Indian, kind of Indian like.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Clayton, what they used to call it. But he's asking if Keith Fletcher's son is on the radar of the national team.
We've been having those Keith Fletcher's son is doing really well, and he's on the radar of the US national team actually. We've been talking to Keith, we've been talking to Fletcher about his son. But I think there's a bigger picture he's looking at. There's a possibility he can make the U.S. national team at any point from now. So I know he wants his son. He would love for his son to play for Grenada, but I know he's also looking at possibilities in the U.S. national team.
Going back to Marlon's earlier point, actually, which is, I would say for the kid, if there's a volume of play where you see we have a chance to really be competitive, he may want to make the switch, right? That's also part of it. I think that should be thought process. So if Marlon develop his local talent the way he should, and you have people on the horizon, there's a possibility he may want to join because you know what, we have a chance to be competitive.
Yeah. Let me just tell you this. Under 20 national team, we had one player from Crystal Palace and one from Fulham, and we got the passport for one player from Brighton under 18, and he's one of the brightest prospects in England, and he was going to play for us. And the week before he traveled to St. Kitts, England on the 20 college, and he went with England. So he's with the England on the 18s or on the 20 right now, and we just missed out on it.
So let me just say this actually. There's a war on talent. There's a war in the world, war for talent, right? It's obvious, and Southgate and the English administration realize that there's more opportunities for players to play for different countries. And they're bringing them in. We had the same thing with Matar, right? Whatever his name is,
Billy Kadamari, yeah.
Billy Kadamari. We're the same exact situation, Marlon, as you may realize. So that's something that English FA is doing, which is they're bringing in players who may be on the fringe, actually, just try to bring them over the line and give them hope to play for the national team so that they're going to be picked off by other countries.
Yeah.
I see here, Marlon, do you remember Ball Giants with Clint, Marseille, and others?
It was good, yes.
I remember Clint in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Clint went to England, actually. I think he went to maybe Championship or League One or something. He went to go to England. He was very good.
Yeah. I remember him when he played.
Yeah. I played with Zagada. I didn't play with with his nephew. I didn't
Shari.
play with Shalry
Yeah.
because Shalry was much younger. I played with Sags, yeah.
Shari's first Caribbean Cup was in 1996. So we all played together on that team.
Yeah, I had knee surgery that year. I didn't play any ball then. But anyway.
Not. Oh yeah. Andre said he went to Portugal first. That's Clint. We won the league 2 years in a row.
He went overseas. He went to Europe. Yeah, I thought he went to England, but he went over Europe. No, Clint was very, very good.
Yeah.
Clint was very good. Yeah. Trinidad used to be good then, but then Grenada took over.
Yeah, we dominated that league for a couple of years.
So what about Jamaica? Oh, the better Jamaicans weren't playing.
Jamaica did better after 2000. Jamaica dominated after 2000.
Yeah.
Before it was St. Vincent first.
St. Vincent and Grenada.
Yeah. St. Vincent and Grenada dominated, for a number of years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, people. Listen. Good show. You're getting some history here. You understand me? For some of you who doubted Cranky because you heard that he had to put on a KC shirt to get some game on the first occasion. After that, he stamped his class.
I don't know about that. I was stamping anything. Freddie will tell you gave me a goal I missed it in a final or something. That's what Freddie always tell you.
Yeah. So again, remember down in Grenada on the 5th of May. The Caribbean All-Star versus the legends from all across the world. Travel down. If you're in Trinidad, just 30 minutes here in Jamaica, a couple of flights and you can get there. New York is very easy and they have some beautiful resorts out there that you can stay. Not a lot of people. The streets are clean. The people are very nice. Good entertainment. The food is fantastic. And the ladies are lovely. You understand me? So
man. I need to sign you up for the board of tourism.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, people, it's one of the places that I would really live. I would go down and live in Grenada. Really, really, no crime. I'm telling you, like no crime. It's really, really a nice place. It's like feel like everyone is connected. So please, make sure you make your way down there. I'm going to talk to Freddie to see if there's a way. Though they plan on giving me no game, but I'll try to see if I can.
I hear Freddie's playing. Do we have medical help? Do we have medical help?
Cranky, Freddie's not playing. Freddie's going to
playing. The man said he's lost 10 pounds since Dallas.
He had a bet on Aston Villa versus Arsenal. That's how he lost the 10 pounds. That's how he lost the 10 pounds. What's he talking about?
Marlon, I suggest that you have medical help around the facility where you're playing if Freddie is playing.
He's going to just stand and he's going to make some pass and say, "You see that pass there?" All right. Big up. But thank you guys so much for being a part of the show. It was a pleasure and looking forward to us talking again. But I am Manning's Man. This has been I Am Sure Sports. And as usual, want to say a big thank you to all of you. Before you go, make sure you hit the like button. If you have not yet subscribe to the channel. Share the content so others may know and hear about what is going on in Grenada and be a part of this great celebration over there. 100 years, the Football Association celebrating our federation, but they're also celebrating 50 years as an independent nation. So a lot culminating during this time. They just hosted a Carifta Games where their athletes did well and they were a very good host. I'm telling you, the entertainment, just the historic element in the entertainment at the Carifta, it's going to be big. Dexter Daps, who is a Jamaican entertainer, is going to be there. And I suspect there'll be others as it's also the launch of their carnival, which is in August. So you heard all of that. So support them and let the Caribbean unity be seen. But I am Manning's Man. This has been I Am Sure Sports. It's my pleasure being with you. Thanks to Cranky, to Marlon, and to all those who watched and viewed the channel. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. I'll see you later as we interview Jaheel Hyde on his aspirations for the Olympics in Paris in the summer. As usual, when it gets to the end of the show, we say We are over and we are OUT out of here.
Yo, Chubba Dog, SK New Erdis, the body out there, Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say, when you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Ocherase, Galtigo Bay, everywhere. I Am Sure Sports, check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like, yeah. Someone on for the food from young, from where they knee height. I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.